And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season 2 of the Loves Gymnastics podcast, brought to you by the Loves Gymnastics Network, brought to you by the creator of this, Michaela Loves Gymnastics, and her co-host, Oscar, aka Gymnastics Saves Lives, Miss Shayna, and Ezra. And together, we bring you the Loves Gymnastics podcast. Season 2 begins now. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We love and appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, bring more people into the community. It's NCAA 2025 time. Let's go, girls! And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Loves Gymnastics podcast. And today, let me bring Oscar back on. We are recapping week 2 from the 2025 season of NCAA. We have our opinions. We're so sorry that we missed the show yesterday. You know, we're all are grown. We have lives or whatever. Shayna, I'm not sure if she's going to join us today, but she will be here. We have some gym goss to talk about. We have some opinions. We have some re-rankings of the SEC that we need to get through. So, how is everybody doing?
Hey, doing great.
Ezra, I know you're on the high because UCLA actually did very good this weekend.
Yes.
Oscar, as our neutral gym fan, how did you feel about this weekend?
This week was a lot more entertaining than week 1. I was
You
mentioning
sound real low,
we
Oscar.
got on. I sound real far away. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be because I'm walking. I don't know how to make myself louder. Sorry. So I'm happy to not talk.
It is okay. So you guys, let's just get into where we're gonna get into it. This was week
Can you not
2.
hear me at all?
No, we can hear you. It just sounds like you're on in the other side of the room from your phone.
That's really strange. Okay, sorry.
Let's start off with the first meet that happened this weekend, which was well, it wasn't the first meet, but it was the first that I paid attention to, which was the quad meet between Florida, MSU, and some
So
other teams.
I watched that meet live with Nisha, and then Shayna joined us at the end. We had a lot of fun on Spaces.
Oh, and you sound a lot better now.
Okay, good. And Urza was there. I didn't mean to forget you. Sorry. And
I was in and out.
right. But you had good conversation for certain. And I just wanted to say earlier that week 2 was a lot more entertaining to me than week 1, which I was happy about. And I was mentioning to you earlier that I was just a little sick, so it was good to have stuff to watch while I was in bed resting and recovering.
So the
So
first
that
meet,
meet was a little scandalous. it was great to be watching with such big NCAA fans because they drew my attention to the scoring and how it didn't make sense to them in the final rotation when Florida went to floor. But let's back it up and talk about how good Florida started the meet.
Yes, Florida
Yes.
started off on vault. I think Florida put up
Six,
six
It was all
10.0 vaults.
tens. Yeah.
and they are capable of more. They have a lot more.
Yeah, they have other people. They have Victoria who has a 10.0 vault, Salone who has a 10.0 vault. Um, Clearly, Sky has 10.0 vaults, but we don't expect her to vault this season for NCAA. So yeah, they have a lot of depth where I don't feel like other teams do. Can we talk about MSU this meet though first? Because I feel like I don't
Where did
MSU.
they look so bad to you? I didn't see their week one meet, which you said was a lot better. But I felt like their weakest point was floor at this meet, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
and floor is typically their strongest event.
Yeah.
Right.
MSU looked
Well,
weak
vault
this. Yes.
between floor and vault is their two
Yes.
strongest events.
MSU looked weak this week, in my opinion, because they were going up against competition. Because they were competing
Mm,
against Eastern Michigan or Central. It was one lower Michigan team, and really the routines would have looked good. But when you're going up against teams like Florida and Nebraska, as well as, yes, your routines are going to look a little choppy and how you expect the teams to look their first week. But they were surprisingly close to Florida after beating Florida, when Florida was ahead of them by a lot after vote and bars. So,
Oh, that's
yes.
interesting. So let me understand what you're saying. Are you saying that we just haven't seen them next to such good teams, so they didn't look good by comparison, or that competing against good teams brought the pressure and they weren't able to perform like they have been, or something
They,
else?
they perform both, a bit of both.
Both.
to
Okay.
me, it was more so. I'm so sorry, Urza. To me, it was more so they didn't. It's like they used their B team for this competition, where they
Mm,
when they were where the first week they put up their A team, their very best gymnasts that they had,
mhm.
and like they had 6 10.0 vaults. Like in this competition, I think they put up 3 10.0 vaults.
Yes, they put
Um,
up 4, I believe,
they just wasn't doing what they did in week one,
Oh my God.
in
which
Do
is
my
you
a
have
opinion.
low.
a lozenge? Do you have some honey, babe?
I know, right? Yeah. So I don't feel like MSU beat Florida at all, Nisha. I feel like Florida did, and I also feel like defending my Gators, my Florida Gators,
Chom
that
chom.
that if Florida competed had this exact same competition where everybody else started week one,
Yes.
y'all would be having a different conversation. Y'all would be talking about how well they look. But because y'all saw
Yes.
everybody in
What?
week one and Georgia and Florida
Yes,
started
because
in week
Florida did not
two,
use their lineups as the good
I
lineups.
mean,
The lineups that, well,
I
this
think
is
it's
what Michaela did say she wanted for Florida, not for them to use their strongest athletes on
totally.
everything and give athletes experience.
Even though Sloan was sticking her bars this amount week one. So they had to save a little. But I think that's curious that you say that, Michaela, because um yes, we would be saying, oh gosh, did I lose my train of thought? It was in response to you saying that things would be different, the narrative would be different if it was a week one.
mm-hmm.
And maybe it would I just haven't seen so many people being like, the problem is Florida was the problem, like I think it has the scandal to me is very much the relation, how it looked in context to MSU in that final floor rotation. That's my biggest beef, and how it just didn't make sense, the score they gave her, and it was conveniently the minimum score or the that they needed to clinch the win. I'm not mad at their score, like looking outside of that competition, like, oh, they should be scoring higher. I'm worried for them. It was a perfectly decent score, and they beat lots of teams in the SEC. Are you ready to talk about the final rotation yet? Or
Yeah,
do you want to
sure.
talk about Selena on Beam 99?
Let's get to Selena on being 99. Y'all are carrying on. There was nothing wrong with that being routine. Y'all are being haters.
She looks shaky and choppy.
Y'all are being haters.
I'm so sorry. But
Y'all are being haters.
she looks like she was shocked at the level of quality at Florida, so her routines weren't all out of that. Like they were at UCLA, where she needs to be on for UCLA to be on, and so she looks like she wants to sit back and rest herself for these first weeks and get going when she needs to and win some national titles.
She literally had a great competition, and y'all acting like this girl fell or something. Like this girl did nothing wrong. I don't. Okay, Selena, that double layout off of bars is kind of getting bad. But other than that,
Because Florida broke it. And they broke
I
a lot
don't
of things
understand.
about Selena.
I don't understand, especially on her beat. Like her one balance check was her Afro series, and she fixed it in the air. She didn't even have a balance break on it. I don't understand why everybody's so mad.
I think they're mad at the fact that she's not at UCLA anymore.
I was just about to ask, do you think they're misdirecting their anger?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
you should be
absolutely.
mad
I
at
could see
UCLA
it too. I could see it too.
because y'all are just comparing. I bet you she wished she would have went to UCLA. UCLA scored a 197 this week. Okay, that was the second week. Give Florida another week. This is why I'm saying if Florida would have competed last week with everybody else, y'all would be talking about, oh my God, Florida looks so good. Florida looks so much better than UCLA. I'm so happy
Yes.
Selena went to UCLA and not Florida. But because y'all are comparing UCLA good second week to Florida's, UCLA great second week to Florida's good first week, y'all are being disingenuous. Not you two, I'm just saying the gym internet
Yes.
is being very disingenuous. Y'all are just mad that Selena switched left UCLA asses and went to Florida. That's just it.
She wants her national title.
Period.
Yes, Florida versus LSU Friday. And Florida, when y'all see Florida switch up from that meet against MSU, and that meet is gonna be very fun to watch because Florida's gonna tear someone up, especially in the PMAC. Is it?
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
not
at
sure.
LSU.
Yes.
It's
So
gonna
the
be fun
scoring
to
is gonna
watch.
be a little. Oh, Sheena says she's
Well,
sick.
Karina, yeah, we see it. It's okay, baby doll. I think we're all sick at this moment in time. I feel like it's coming for me too. So no worries, baby. No worries. I wanted Selena at MSU with Nikki Smith.
Oh, very shady. Nisha, now come on now, girl. Florida will tear LSU up.
I ain't gonna say all that. I
Oh,
ain't
I'm
willing
gonna
to
say
make
all of
them
it.
bold.
I'm
I'm
gonna say
not
all
willing
of
to make
it.
them bold statements.
Urza with the healthy immune system, the only healthy
Yeah,
one of us, the last one
very
standing.
healthy.
But I do think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot. And I do think Florida. It depends on what Florida put up, who they put up in their lineups. Because I think Florida, it could be real close. I think Florida could win. I think LSU could win.
We will see.
I do know this one thing with Florida.
Where is
Um,
Florida's room for improvement besides floor? How can you acknowledge that floor was a hot mess, but then say there's room for improvement there?
Floor really was not bad as y'all are making it sound to be. It was two routines.
Do you think
The
those two
other,
teams are never gonna compete again this season?
I mean,
who's the two
once
team?
it was Laurie Brubach at the anchor, and I'm sorry, let me go look at the lineups right now.
I mean, it might just be my inexperience with NCAA is showing, and that's why I'm keep harping on this and no one else is. But Nisha got me really excited watching the meet. She was like, "That can't stand."
I don't think Florida. Okay, this is just what again. Just listen to what I'm saying, Oscar. I'm not saying that Florida did 100%. Of course not. This was their first week, and Florida is actually doing what I asked them to do in the beginning of the season, which is pace themselves. You don't need to be up here trying to get tens at this moment in time.
LSU. Oh, I'm sorry, Mickey.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The thing though is that Florida can clean up a lot of their landings. Florida can clean up a lot of their sloppiness and their skills. Um, but so can LSU. So again, I'm not saying that it's out of reach. I'm just saying I don't think Florida is in this conundrum that people are saying. I think Florida is still the
Absolutely.
third team in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, I never said Florida was bad. I'm just saying Florida looked, because I was expecting them to like match pace with Oklahoma and LSU, but seems like they're going with a smarter strategy right now, and maybe they'll throw their meat against LSU on purpose. I mean, not on purpose, but like not throwing the lineups that could beat LSU.
What?
Florida, some teams do that.
Oh,
Don't
some
pick
teams
this.
absolutely do that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tell me about
Like
this. Who do
MSU
I?
did that. This MSU could have put up a team that could have challenged Florida a lot harder. They
Okay,
chose to
okay.
sit.
Absolutely.
What about a
They
top
chose
team?
MSU is a top team,
Yeah.
in my opinion. In
They
my
are a
opinion.
top
What about
team.
another top
They're the,
team?
um
Um,
Florida did it last season as well. Um
Will they own up to it? Do their coaches say, "Yeah, we didn't care," or
no.
do they give like? Do they say like, "We were trying to give our other athletes experience"?
I mean they say neither because coaches aren't allowed to do interviews like that because
yeah, like for
against
example,
their
I don't
contract.
think they're going to use Sky on bars anymore.
No, they weren't, and that's okay.
You think they just used her for that me?
Yeah,
I think they use her to get her confidence up and to get her ready.
get some eyes on the competition. Look, Scott Blakely's doing bars.
Yes.
It's been 6 months.
Get some clicks.
But Michaela, I remember you saying you could see Sky Blakely being the national champion this year.
Yeah, I take that back. I give it to her sister Salone though. Salone can vault this year, but
It's just that. I'm sorry, I got it confused. I thought we were talking about Sloan the whole time.
Oh, so yeah, Florida, great job. This meet, great job for them.
great job this meet. We'll see next meet if they can get to
Well,
that
Friday,
197. Yeah, we'll see Friday if they can get to the 197 mark. All the
which
LSU fans, we will preview that meet Thursday like we always do. So please, we're talking about last week. We're not on to week
pitch your
3 yet. That
pitchforks
will be
down.
Thursday. Put your
Wait,
pitchforks down.
Will you guys indulge me? I'm really sorry. Um, so just to rewind what we were just talking about, there's also an echo now. I don't know if that's for anyone else. Um, you think that they're never gonna use Sky Blakely on bars again, not Sloan, who was the
Not
lead
con-
off.
not consistently.
Okay, no, that makes so much more sense. I was thinking of
Oh,
Sloan when you said that.
how did you think Riley did, Michaela?
Exactly the way I thought she would.
Oh, oh, and we're gonna leave it at that.
So we all think Sloan is gonna keep doing bars, and she could be the national champion, right?
Stallone is a top all arounder for Florida. She always does all around for Florida. She never comes out their
Yeah.
lineup.
Okay,
The only
I'm
thing that's
sorry. I
stopping
just was
Simone is
confusing
she
them.
just has, and they changed her skills too. I wish they would change that bar dismount, but they
Mhm.
changed her floor pass from Arabian to a full in. She seems to be doing that a lot better this year.
Yes.
Um, I think they changed her beam dismount from a 1.5 to a gainer off the side, which is better for her.
She's always been doing that gainer off the side. At least I
Really,
remember
she didn't
last
used to do a
season.
1.5. Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think she always
Well,
did the
the
gainer
gainer
full.
off the. For real, okay, well, it looks better than it used to, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean,
Can
I
someone
just wish Urs
explain?
Saloni to add. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off. There's a delay, so I didn't know you were saying something. Sorry. But I was asking totally different. What if someone could explain what's going on with Sophia Groff and her beam dismount? And someone was saying that she's suffering because of a rule change from 2023. Anyone know what I'm talking about?
I did not see any Auburn teams, but I
Mm-hmm.
will
She
Because
did a
definitely.
Sophia,
gainer full
I
off the
seen the video
side,
where she used
and
to
she
do,
like lunged forward.
Hmm.
and it,
And maybe was
okay.
it that she used to do a B
First of all,
dismount, and
she's
that's
not
not hard enough anymore?
doing it right, so that's part of it.
Well,
Oscar, say the last thing that you tried to say. Your phone kind of it was a little skip in the signal, and I didn't hear it. Oscar,
Oscar, I think he went out.
could be me. Somebody Wi-Fi ain't working right now, so we'll be back with his opinion on that in a second.
Sorry, I'm still here.
Oh,
Um, it's
I
just I
was
wish
just talking.
so long. Go ahead, Oscar.
No, I said I'm sorry. I muted myself because I was talking to someone. What happened at the
Uh,
beginning when we got
now I
on?
was
We
saying
were
I
all
couldn't
being
hear
so
the last
crisp
thing you
and
said.
sharp with the audio, and now there's like a huge lag for us and an echo. I want better for us, but it might just be
The audio
me.
sounds fine for me.
I don't.
Okay, good. I hope it sounds good for Nisha too.
Do y'all? I don't hear an echo on my end.
I don't neither.
It's
Do
not
you hear an
nearly as
echo?
bad as it was actually, but the lag now is what's frustrating me because I keep interrupting you by accident more than I usually do.
I think the lag is my internet. That's me, but I don't hear an echo. So I'm so sorry. What I was saying is, could you repeat the last thing that you said? Your last question. I was about to answer it, but it was a part of the question that I couldn't hear. So I don't.
Mm.
I don't have a full.
Sure, the one about Auburn and the
Yeah.
beam dismount. Okay, the question
Yes.
was, has anyone seen Sophia Groth's bounce beam dismount? And people were saying that it's giving her issues, and specifically she's suffering because of a rule change with dismounts, I think, It's starting in 2023, and she's had a whole season, and she still hasn't figured out a beam dismount that works for her or something. That was my general understanding.
I think it also has to do with Auburn's coaching changes because coaches rotate, which seems to be regularly now for these last few seasons. So probably has not found a proper dismount. And I have noticed that she does take like bends and squares her knees at the end of her gainer dismount from her preview meet. And so
But
I just
what
don't think
dismount
it's
did she used to do, and why did she change?
I
Because I
remember her
remember
doing.
her doing solid routines when Suni was there.
Me
I
too. I
think
think
it
she used to do probably like a side
side
aerial
area.
back pull, which they
Yes.
devalued.
Which
So
she
they had
Okay,
to,
cannot
okay,
do because it's not a
yeah,
C or above dismount.
yeah, they
got it.
devalued that.
What do you think about Leanne's new dismount on beam? Do you think that they're built-in
So
deductions?
I don't know why she just doesn't do the layout front like everybody else is doing this year.
She just wants more.
Hey,
What do you
Gainer
mean? Is
off the
one
side
valued
for
higher
her.
than the
Okay,
other?
first of all, no, I think it would be a easier dismount for her. I think the Gainer off the side, she's trying to be Porkina, but she doesn't
I
have
thought
the.
she was trying to be
And
Suni.
I know it's just a full
Sunisa.
twist off the side. That seems like an easy dismount, but I don't think she has it split off of.
Yes.
You thought she was trying to be who?
Sunisa.
Did Sony do a gainer dismount?
Sunny's never done that dismount.
No, she did
What
a
are you talking
Sunny
about?
always
Yes, she did.
no. I'm gonna check
You
now.
guys, you
Sunny did.
guys. Are we
Okay,
serious right now?
Sunny did do a Gator dismount, but off the
She
front of the
did the
beam. We're
tuck
talking about off the
dismount.
side of the beam, Oscar.
But Leanne did
Off the
hers off
front
the
of the
front of
beam.
the
We're talking
beam.
about off the side of the beam.
Leanne did it off the front.
But that's not what Sophia's doing. Sophia's doing it off.
Oh, I brought up
Sophia's doing a
Leanne. I said
cartwheel.
Leanne Wong. I brought up Leanne Wong. It must be
Oh, we
the
couldn't hear that.
delay,
We're
you
still
guys.
on Sophia.
I'm sorry.
We're still on Sophia. No, I'm so sorry. And
No, I said Leanne is trying to channel Sunisa.
Leanne's dismount is fine.
She's just
Sophia's. I don't think Sophia has the power to do the gainer off of one leg for the size.
she should just switch to 1.5, or like do what everyone's doing and just do the.
What if she did a gainer 1.5 tucked?
I don't know what.
That's right. That's what she did. A double twist.
She probably couldn't find her landing.
No one is doing. None of the girls who used to do double twists are doing them anymore.
Yeah, it's a landing
Maybe
issue.
it's your
And
dismount.
just yeah. So the Sprouts quad meet.
Wait, can we just break down? Can we break down Lori's routine on floor to explain why it was so scandalous?
Who?
Lori Bruback,
Oh, okay.
someone who
Well,
knows more than me, like you, Arza. Would you be so
well,
kind?
firstly, her routine should not start from a 10-0 at all. And this is a problem that Michaela has brought up a
Who?
bunch of times, that you cannot be doing front through to double
Okay.
tucks or double pikes and do a disappointing Rudy pass and expect a 10-0 difficulty. And it should not start from a 10 on the beginning.
Even if she did everything well. But you'll explain it as if You'll explain it to as if someone hasn't watched it. I hope.
I don't
Or
know
you can, Michaela.
what y'all talking about. Like, I really feel lost.
You feel
No, I
lost.
don't know
It
what y'all
was
talking
the.
about.
I
I
think it
feel real
was the
lost right now.
last floor. It was Lori something with a B.
For Florida.
She was like the last skater, one of the last ones. She first did
Okay.
I think she did like a Rudy was her opening pass, and she went out of bounds. And then her second pass, she had two passes. There was no third pass. The second pass was like a front full through to a double tuck, and I think she put her knee down on the double tuck.
Yes.
Oh, Urza's back. Would you explain it for someone who hasn't seen it?
I don't think I saw it because I don't.
Oh, that's why you're just like you literally are not engaging in anything I'm saying that's critical about Florida.
Because I don't. I have no.
Michaela, they won the
I
meet
have
by a quarter of a tenth
physically
with
no
this
memory of this
rough
happening.
score.
If this happened.
It was scandalous. It's literally the last 5 minutes of the meet, so anyone can rewatch it quite easily if they're interested. I wish Nisha was here because she would do it
Okay,
flawlessly.
I'm back. I am so sorry.
Okay, great.
So yes, she did a Rudy 1.5, not a double, which the 1.5 is worth less and it's not an E pass. Then she does the front through to a double tuck to fulfill her front pass requirement.
Right.
Because you also need a front pass, and she has no side aerials nor side summies, and she put her knees down, and it was just very on the nose for exactly what they needed. But I do think she should have gotten above a 9.075, which they needed to win. And so yes, it was very
But what about how what the actual judges did, their decisions? There was a huge difference in their scores, and they gave different start values. And one of the start values made absolutely no sense, right?
yes. So this is what like the inquiry comes in for collegiate gymnastics. Is one judge gave her a 10, and the other judge gave her a 9.75.
You listening, Michaela?
No. Can you repeat that again? Somebody.
I am so sorry, y'all. This household will not let me be great right now.
It's okay. It's so okay. Don't worry about it.
So, like I was
Michaela. Oh, yeah, keep
saying,
going.
they start from two different start values, a 10 and a 9.75. And they had, I believe, different deductions. And so and it will usually take a time for the judges to correct it because like a scoring difficult, like a scoring malfunction like that is like it takes very long. But since it was the last weekend of the night, I guess I mean with Florida, yeah, I guess they're like, okay, let's just give it to them. But yeah, so that's the main concern people are having. But I don't think even if the star values were lower, I do think Florida should have gotten a win over MSU. That's just me.
What do you think they should have scored Lori?
Well, I think they
She
should
got a
have.
perfect
Lori
score, right?
Ballard?
No,
I
she got
thought
a.
she had
No.
a 1/10 for out of no, but she had a 1/10 for out of bounds and 5/10 for putting her knee down. So one judge gave her a 9.4, which is a perfect score.
I'm sorry.
Oh, one
You
of the
said nine
she had
four
an
is
out of bounds and
yeah
5/10. This is what Nisha told me
yes
for putting her knee down. So the highest
yeah
she could get is a 9.4, and they gave her a 9.4. One of the judges. They said that they didn't see anything wrong with the routine outside of those things.
Now 9-4 is where the routine would like how you have all your compositions in is where it starts from, and then you have your bonuses like the front tuck and the leaps and all that come into, and so
So
that's
9-4 was the start value, not the score that one of the judges gave her?
yes.
Oh, I really thought it was not. I thought it was the score. I'm not. Nisha, I'm not convinced till Nisha chimes in.
I have
Lori
no
Bruback.
clue. Like, I'm so
Isn't that
lost.
the small
Like
Michaela, this is unexcusable, honestly. This is your
And
team.
I
This is
watched
the
that
last
whole
5 minutes.
and I watched that whole meeting. I don't have no clue about what the hell y'all are talking about.
yeah, well they did post the image of the start value difference. One judge gave her. Now my memory's getting foggy.
It was like a 9-1-5 and a 9-4.
No, I'm talking about the start values.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
one judge gave her a 10.0 start value. That means has all the requirements on all the difficulty, and one gave her a 9.75, which was the problem from the beginning. She should have had. I agree with the judge that gave her a 9.75 start value because you also lose deductions for landing with a fall, and so with her starting from the 9.7 start value and you deduct the deductions, she still would have had the same score that she ended up getting at the meet. So I don't think the judges were wrong.
Ooh, it was so fishy.
Very, but Florida won. Let's move on.
That's the smallest margin that they could win by, right? In the regular
Yeah,
season,
I
a quarter of a
absolutely.
tenth.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I absolutely have no clue.
Is that
Like,
the smallest margin you can win by in the regular season?
One, no. Wait, yeah,
A quarter of a tenth?
no. Some teams could win by 0.025.
That's what it was, a quarter of a tenth.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, y'all. School.
That's okay.
My
Do you
brain
have to
fried.
go?
No, I'm not. No, I'm just saying school has my brain fried. So, but yeah,
Oh, math. Okay, yeah, math is hard for me too.
yeah, math is hard.
But it was literally the smallest amount that they needed, and they got it. And it was just so rigged and such bullshit. And Michaela, I need you to rewatch it on your own time. It's 5 minutes. Your favorite team. Promise me
Nisha,
you will.
Florida will tear
I'm watching
LSU
it
up.
now. What you talking about?
Oh,
Yes, Michaela.
good. You've been really quiet. How would I know?
Oh, I had to see what the hell y'all was talking about because I really.
She'll just skip to like
Great.
the very last routine of the night. The very
Lori
last.
Bruback's routine. She's
She was the anchor on
blonde.
floor. She went after Leanne.
I'm so sorry if I butchered anything you said, Nisha. You know I don't know what I'm talking about, but I tried.
So she went front layout, front Rudy. Oh, that was horrible.
Yes.
It gets worse.
Very. Besides the, oh my God! Can
Okay,
I just say?
I feel extremely insulted that I even wasted my time by watching this because y'all act
Florida
like this girl is
routines
going to
are
make lineup.
horrendous.
They used her for the first season because somebody who was supposed to do floor
It
pulled
doesn't
out of
matter.
floor.
It's about how they
It
didn't
was
deserve the win.
Stallone. It was Stallone who was supposed to do floor, but she didn't do it that much this season.
Girl,
We all know she's not going to make lineups, but that's not what we're talking
That
about.
routine was horrible. All she does is floor. I mean, she
Did you
does
finish
even.
it, Michaela?
Michaela was horrendous by the choreography.
I am.
She shut that computer.
It's bad.
Y'all up there Up here about the landings. What about her damn leaps? Her leaps was horrible.
It's the
Right,
leaps
she
for
did not
me.
get 180.
Most athletes never, but
Urza, did you see MSU also? Didn't they like have a gymnast balk their leap series on floor?
yes, it was very peculiar. She was doing her leap series. She did one leap and then I think completely missed the second leap and it was just bad. She we thought she was injured, but she seemed perfectly fine, so it was just a mental block on her part.
Ooh. I just thought of something I want to talk about once Michaela's done watching.
She will be after she gets tired of this routine. It just was bad. There's no
It
excuse for
was it was bad, and I feel
no.
bad
I mean
now
the
that
choreography.
I don't mean to go so hard on this girl Lori. She's a great gymnast. She deserves her spot on the team, whatever.
Yes,
But
but the choreography.
it was
She
not
had
personal to the gymnast. It's not
Okay,
personal.
so y'all up here have me watching Lori, so I'm up here watching Gabri Desidor and her handspring double twisted front. And what was I doing? Because I don't remember none of this happening. And this is so entertaining. Um,
You're welcome then. I feel better now that you said that.
Yes,
I thought I was pulling teeth.
but there was no excuse for that horrible choreography, Jeremy Miranda. What are you doing? You're a full time coach now. You don't have to
Speaking
work
of
at Disneyland no more.
horrible choreography, what did you think about Arkansas getting rid of the nogging?
it was such a
Voguing the
smart.
Vogue. I was
No, it was
waiting on that
nogging. It
Vogue.
was not voguing.
I was waiting on that Vogue in that routine. I didn't see it.
She took it out.
I watched her
She
routine
took it
3 times back because I just remember Michaela's tweet of her saying, "Girl, no." It just was funny to me.
She took it out. She took it out
She
because
took it out.
she took it out. Thank God.
And yes, it was. How do we like Jocelyn's routine?
We could go to Arkansas. We can go to Arkansas.
Yes, the quad meet.
Okay.
I just before, in case I
wait.
forget,
No.
can we at
Let's
some
finish.
point can we
Let's
talk
finish
about
Friday.
Ella Zerbe's on floor and how she had to take a breather?
Yes, that is the quad meet. So
Okay,
we'll
good.
definitely.
Thank you.
So quad meet session 2 or 3.
Up to you.
I mean, which team do you want to talk about first, Michaela?
Let's do session that happened Friday. Hold on, Amber. Let's finish Friday because
Yes.
I want to talk about Alabama before I talk about Arkansas. Because Alabama,
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's another team. We owe lots of SEC teams apologies by our rankings over the last couple of weeks because Alabama, I'm sorry,
Yes,
girl,
we
been
do.
They were
disrespecting
always
you.
doing
No one
well
else
in
over
mine.
that Florida.
If you go back to week 1 when I
Oscar
wrote those
was the
names
biggest-
down, they had stars.
Yep.
But I didn't expect them to do this well.
So I'm
This
sorry.
good, sorry.
Alabama taught up. They did great for the first meet. They did great for the first meet.
I'm so sorry.
What impressed you,
Alabama. We
Michaela?
Really, just their vaults again. They had all 10.0 start value
Yes.
vaults. They look like OU light. They look like OU
Very
Diet.
white,
light.
very red. The red
Diet
leotard.
OU. Do they have any other vaults
Huh?
besides Yurchenko one? I said Diet OU. Do they have
Yes.
any Yurchenko or do they have any 10.0 vaults that aren't Yurchenko 1.5s?
They do
I
not.
don't think so.
They do not.
So the flavor is missing.
OU barely has flavor. OU has zero
No.
flavor.
And, you know,
They
some
give me
people
some
shouldn't be doing tight front halves. Some people should be doing tight front halves.
Yes. Nisha said Bama was up there, and
Bama is. I would, and y'all gonna be surprised when I do my SEC ratings because I am gonna put Bama ahead of Florida. I am.
Based on potential or based on scoring?
Based on potential and score, I'm gonna put Bama ahead of Florida. Like, I hate Bama. I don't hate Bama, but they're not my team. But I
They're too
think
white.
Bama's gonna shake some shit up this year.
They're too white for me. I'm sorry.
I
They give
really
me.
hope Jameson Sears makes the lines up.
She wasn't even in a leotard, which
Yeah, she
is
did an
not.
interview saying she wasn't gonna compete this week, so I knew it.
Mhm. So yes,
So
Alabama.
Alabama looked great, and that's all I have to say about Alabama. They look great. And then the first quad meet of the Sprouse weekend happened Friday, and it
That
Yes,
was
was Michigan, right?
yes, it was Michigan, Clemson.
Stanford?
N- yes,
Stanford was in
Auburn.
one of those meets.
no. Auburn was at the meet that Christian was at
Okay,
when she did her Floridian.
Kirsten.
Kirsten, I'm so sorry, Kirsten.
Kirsten.
And I made it my business to correct y'all during when
I
we in
know.
the. I made it my business. So
I'm so sorry, Kirsten Johnson. We really want you to come on the show.
okay,
We're really trying our hardest to do everything correctly. It's just it's gonna take
it
us a
was
minute.
okay.
Calling you Kristen. I mean, yeah, Kristen
It
for a
was
long time. So it's just
yes,
give us a second. We're gonna get to the Kirsten. We're gonna stop saying Chris. We're gonna say cursed.
yes. So it was University of Arizona. It was University of Michigan. It was Clemson, and NC State. Who
I
competed
really
in the
thoroughly enjoyed that meet. That was my favorite meet of Friday night. I enjoyed that meet even more than the Florida meet.
yes.
Clemson looks good for their. This is just their second year, and it makes me sad when I watch Clemson because I'm like, damn,
With
Clemson
good
started their
coaches, with good
yeah, but
coaches,
it
what
just
could
makes
they
me
do?
sad because I see all these HBCUs that they're throwing together, and I'm happy that these HBCUs are there. But I see how those programs are being thrown together, pieced together, stitched together. And then I see a
Yeah,
program like Clemson and how well their organization put their gymnastics program together. And I just don't understand why can't all new programs be
Isn't it,
like
yes.
that?
could it just be that Clemson is a D1 school?
Probably that probably has a lot to do
Yes.
with it.
Clemson did. Clemson did throw a lot of money into their gymnastics facilities because it's one of the best gymnastics facilities for
Now,
NCAA. And yeah, but if they just had some good coaches,
I had no
Wilberforce
idea
and
until now
Talladega.
that Khalees Wolford, she transferred from Clemson to Georgia.
it's not transfer. She
She
okay.
never
So
she
for the recruiting
committed to
process,
Clemson, but
she
she never
she
went to
verbally
Clemson.
committed.
She verbally
She was
committed to
so into
Clemson.
it. I
Yes,
was like, oh wow. And
Oh
now
yeah,
she's
yeah,
not
I
there.
remember she
yes,
did her whole countdown of
she was
what
into it.
school she's going to commit to, and then Clemson was the final answer until still went to Georgia, and then she
Yeah.
changed that shit up
Yes,
real
and then
fast,
she was like, yeah.
real fast.
Do you put
Georgia was not even in her top
I don't even
contenders,
think she
which
went to
is
visit
shocking.
Georgia.
No, she did not. But yes, a verbal commitment is you saying you want to go to that school, but there's a signing
Correct.
date that the recruits of a class will sign officially the contract saying I'm going to that school for a scholarship or yes, for a scholarship. So
And I don't think they
yes,
can do this verbal commitment thing anymore.
no,
I think that was
I mean it's fun for the fans,
I
but
don't think they can actually say I'm going to this school until they turn 16 now. Or 8 or 17. I think it's 17 now. Like the schools aren't even allowed to be in contact with the girls until they are at least juniors in high school.
yes, officially in contact. But some
Of
schools
course.
like to be up there.
But hell, some back in the days, them schools would have them girls committing at like 10 years old. Like
14. Yes, yes.
it was weird.
Do you prefer
And it's
people
just like now
saying
that
calling you Michaela or Michaela?
It doesn't really matter, but it's Michaela.
Okay, I thought I would
Ma
ask.
Kayla, not Meth Kayla, but it doesn't really matter to me.
you're not Michaela Skinner, you're not that racist
No.
hoe.
I'm not my Kayla. I'm not Mick Kayla. I'm Ma Kayla.
Or Mac, as Nisha affectionately calls you.
Mac. Um, but MAK, I guess could be MAC, and I guess Mac, you could make Mac from it, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, look. Okay. So Saturday. Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday was great gymnastics. Saturday
NCAA finals preview.
Saturday was great gymnastics. That session one
Yes.
between OU, LSU, Cal, and Utah,
Utah.
that was a really great competition. That was a really great for the NCAA. That was really good.
Yes, it was. And LSU was
They're a
close.
very strong team. She was real
Yes,
close.
they were
Did
close.
I'm
any of those
surprised
teams
Cal beat
outscore UCLA?
No, I think only
OU.
no. And because UCLA's score was the third highest score of the entire season so far, so and Utah and Cal were making mistakes.
So LSU and
Well,
OU
mostly
outscored UCLA?
yes,
No, not that
yes,
from this week or just in the season.
This week from Saturday.
I think UCLA had the top scorer from anybody this weekend.
and I will fact check that.
But
Just like a brag.
I think OU has the top score from the season so far.
Yes. So, were there any specific routines that stood out to y'all?
I really like Maya Luzon. Is that how you say her name? From Cal.
Loud.
She's really a really
So LSU finished the meet
talented,
with
talented
a
girl.
197.650.
Hello?
Go ahead.
LSU finished the meet with a 197.650, which was the second highest, so it was higher than UCLA. And Oklahoma. Oh, okay. Oklahoma finished with a 197.950. Cal finished with a 197.2, and Utah finished with a 196.8. So, yes, Oklahoma was the top scorer, followed by LSU, followed by UCLA, then Cal.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Let me re-add Oscar. I'm so sorry, everybody.
I don't see it here. I don't see it for
What do
them.
you mean you don't see it for colleges here when colleges whoop
I,
Utah's ass?
well, Utah is always, like you said, Michaela, Utah is always Utah the first part of the season, but when they start getting the
That's true.
scores and
That's true.
getting their routines together, they're all good. But I just don't see, other than Maya and other than MJ, who is injured. She is a little injured. I don't see it, the spark for them when they had like Gabby and Andy Lee and all that from last season. So, but I would love for them to make it because they're a great team with amazing
Speaking of
athletes.
Andy Lee, damn, the rest of her family is going through it over there in the league.
Because no one told them to shout and abuse those little girls, but it's
Wait, what? What was that?
the Anna Lee and the entire Lee family situation.
Right, I know about that, but what did you say about Andy? Because no one told her what?
No, I said no one told Anna to. No one told the parents and Anna to shout and abuse those young gymnasts. So
That's true. I hope.
session
So then,
3.
the Urza's highlight of the weekend.
Yeah.
UCLA looked great. UCLA looked way better than I thought they was going to look this year.
Yeah.
Wait, we're
Brooklyn
done
had,
with LSU?
I mean, nothing really changed for those two teams from the first week.
Someone said that Shayna said that Connor looked like she was hurt after her beam routine. Did you see that?
Yes, Connor was limping a little bit, and allegedly someone
I think
when
LSU
she
was
was
putting up Connor a little bit.
yes.
I agree. I don't think any of the injured girls need to be up right now.
Not at all, especially in high pressure situations.
Okay, we can move on if you guys don't want to talk about that anymore.
I just have nothing to say about OU. OU look great like always. I don't know.
I didn't see that meet at all. So me
Oh, really?
neither.
You should watch that. That's the meet you should watch on number one jump in. That was a highlight.
Yes.
Really? It must be really good if it was better than UCLA because I really enjoyed that.
It was better than UCLA in my opinion.
It was
Okay,
because
I really think that was a preview of what the finals could possibly be. I think maybe Florida might be there. Maybe instead of Utah, maybe Florida instead of Cal, maybe Bama. But I think that's a preview of what the NCAA Final Four might look like.
Yes.
You don't think it's gonna be? Let's do that later because I haven't. I that sounds fun to do the Final Four.
Yes.
Okay.
Session 3, which consisted of UCLA, Arkansas, Kentucky, as well as Ohio State, who shocked many people, but they didn't shock
me. I didn't even know who the hell Ohio State was.
They were Ohio
State here. Sticking those Yurchenko Falls.
Yes, Ohio State was here from 2023 when they had some talent. So
I love them sticking those Yurchenko Falls.
They tore Arkansas and Kentucky up. They gave them a great run.
Not my girl, Delaney Rodriguez, crumbling under the pressure. Is she injured?
She's not. I'm sure.
Nah, that must have been the worst meet of her college career.
So far, yes. What were you saying, Michaela?
I will say this about Arkansas. Nisha, I don't agree that Arkansas is last because I think Arkansas, they had mistakes. The only reason why Kentucky beat them in this competition, because I rewatched it twice. That's how much I enjoyed that one.
Yes.
Yet you say you enjoyed the other meet more.
I watched
She
that
can
one like
enjoy
4
too.
times. I watched that one like 4 times already. That's how much more I enjoyed it.
Get a life. What are you doing? I'm joking.
When I'm at work, I just watch Gymnastics. So the thing is with Arkansas, they counted a fall.
Yes.
I think if they had not counted a fall on Beam, they would have beat Kentucky. So it's hard for
Absolutely.
me. So it's hard for me to rank them last in the SEC when, I mean, they had the worst score, yes, but I
Yes.
also
But they're a very depthy team, and they did not pick their top lineups up.
Who fell on
Yeah.
floor? It was Beam or floor?
It was
I think it was
Beam.
Beam. They counted a fall.
Yes. It was.
Who was it?
Oh my goodness. It was.
I know it wasn't Jocelyn because she won the all around with another
No,
gymnast.
it was Haley Klein and another gymnast.
Please tell me it wasn't Priscilla Park.
I think it was Priscilla Park, actually.
Yeah, she's
We
very.
didn't have a very good competition here at all.
But she's a great gymnast. Just haven't
She
seen the
is,
best
but
of
she
her.
did not have I think she fell on her vault or
No, she didn't do vault. Arkansas had a strong vault lineup. Not as strong as Alabama, Florida, and LSU, Oklahoma, but definitely potential. Definitely good for first week.
Definitely potential, but I think their high score was Jocelyn's Lopez, which was a 9.875.
Yes.
That they conveniently showed from that weird angle where she's just running straight at the camera, so you can't see her form.
I think Jordan Weaver would be a good coach for Jocelyn because they basically were the same type of gymnast. Jordan just was a lot better of a type of gymnast than Jocelyn is, but like that baby Sean Johnson type of gymnast. So
Yes.
I
Very
see
Sean
that.
Johnson coded.
Also, like,
But wait.
Jocelyn has been explicitly saying that Jordan Weaver is like her idol for years.
Yes.
she should be. I mean, they're the exact same type of gymnast. Jocelyn isn't as flexible as Jordan was, but I mean, they're the exact same type of gymnast.
Yes.
Right,
But can
but I
I
just
just
think
say,
she better
Misha,
not
aren't you from
mess that
Arkansas?
up. Yeah, but she
Yeah, I
hates
mean,
Arkansas.
we know Jordan
I mean-
was the superior athlete, but I'm just saying the same type of gymnast.
Yes.
She better not mess that up, Jordan, because like having someone who's I don't know, like maybe she has had other gymnasts who are like, I'm obsessed with you. I'd do anything for you. That's the vibe I get from Jocelyn.
I mean, but you got to understand, Jocelyn is the first generation of girls that actually grew up watching
Jordan.
Yes, those are their idols. Like,
she came to Arkansas for Jordan.
Why do I feel like Jocelyn has better flexibility than Sean Johnson, but Sean Johnson had better extension in her legs?
absolutely.
Yes.
That's the one thing with Jocelyn. Jocelyn doesn't really have bad form. It's just her knees are very soft. Like she doesn't extend her legs all the way through to make it look. But she has decent flexibility. It's just her knees are kind of like her calf muscle is too big, so it doesn't make her leg look fully extended.
Yes.
I think it's more noticeable on bars, on vault bars and beam, because on floor her popa was very extended. I think she has good extension on her popa.
Because she uses a lot of power to get up there.
Maybe it's the straddle position.
Freeze framed it, and she's totally extended her knees.
Maybe it's the straddle position versus the split position
But like thinking about her elite routine also, which is maybe unfair.
I'm thinking about her double layout. Her double layout looks very tucked in the air. Like, I don't think she should be doing that in college because it's going to be hard for her to score high on floor when she could do a full in and tuck and get more or do a double like
Jo-
Jay.
Jos- Jocelyn does not like tuck positions whatsoever. She cannot do tucks.
Michaela, you know what skill I'm
It's a
thinking
great chance
about?
for her to learn. Go ahead.
She better
You
adapt.
know what skill I'm thinking about, Michaela?
Ooh.
Her anoti.
It's all right. A little arm.
I can't believe Jocelyn Robinson can do a noti. Like, that's just okay. It's very cheated, but okay.
It's very arm movement, very arm waving after she finishes. But
Why do I feel like Jocelyn's gonna throw when she comes back to elite? Like she's gonna literally go to the end of the beam, facing the away, and she's gonna do a noti, hold her leg up, and go straight into her switch leap, switch half or something. Back tuck.
oh no, oh
My
no,
God.
you just
My God.
want her to get deducted.
I feel like she could do it. She's so authoritative with her arm positions.
The way Jocelyn does her noti is like a backward cartwheel.
Very much so, like the Worley.
Not even.
I just feel like it's so crooked. Like her hips are facing sideways in the
It's
middle of.
really it's like I can't explain it. It's like
The landing position, like the position she finishes after she does it, she makes it look. That's
she's
just me.
definitely not doing it like everybody else doing it with her back flexibility and doing a half turn to a handstand and doing a front walkover like everybody else. She's definitely doing something like a quarter turn to a.
Yeah,
She's definitely.
cheating
I
it.
feel like she's turning on her hands, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's enough. That's
everyone-
enough for Jocelyn.
But I will say this, Jocelyn, you have an opportunity to be Jay Carey and make uneven bars your best event in the NCAA.
Yes,
Take advantage of this
Jocelyn
opportunity.
came out.
Okay, but how many years did it take Jake Carey to reach there?
For the
Is she
NCAA,
even there?
not very long.
She's a
Is
senior.
she even there?
I think her
I'm
very
sorry.
first hit in the NCAA was on uneven bars.
But was
Yes,
she
it
as
was.
good as she is now? Did she deserve
I mean,
that?
she was. Yeah, because all she was doing was a Maloney to a Bahart watch,
Gosh.
and then she was doing a full in dismount.
See,
I
I
mean,
thought
it-
I thought we were commenting on how improved she looks on bars in her senior year.
I don't like her bar routine this season.
Really,
I
like it.
think it's improved. I don't agree with Michaela that it's the best in the country.
Oh, I definitely.
I don't think Michaela never said that.
Yes, she did. Pull up the
Oh, yes, I
Twitter.
did on Twitter. I stand
Oh,
by
you
it.
did? Oh,
It's my favorite bar routine in the country in the NCAA.
it won't go far.
Fuck you, RJ Davis. No offense, RJ Davis. I'm just joking.
She's on our fantasy team for vault, not for bars.
So it's official. Leanne Wong is the SEC Gymnast of the Week.
Which she did not earn.
I disagree with that. Leanne is their best all-arounder. Now, I will say this, Leanne, darling, Leanne, if you can do, well, you probably can't. I was about to say, I really want you to change that vault. Like, I know it's your last season, so it's like hard for you to learn something new, but do it in tuck. Do it. I don't know.
But everyone who does it in tuck does not do it like Jordan. They do not score it like Jordan does. Because Jordan, talk all the shit you want. Jordan gets her scores on tuck.
You could read that two ways, Urza.
Can I?
I can.
No, I'm just saying, when Jordan does her vault, she gets the scores and she gets her landings. and she should stick with that vault until she flies off the mat. And
I
just
think she should do her Lopez laid out because her issue with Jordan on that vault is her early tucking on the block. And it's very obvious. That's her only deduction on that vault. And it's very obvious when she does it. Like, so I don't think she can score higher than the 9.9s, 9.95 that she's been scoring on that vault because of her block.
Michaela, can we talk about that Corkina vault?
That wasn't one of the sessions, so hell yeah. Let me tell y'all something. I have not seen a real Horkina vault in a long time. That was the closest thing to a Horkina. Not the 90, no, not the 2000 Horkina vault that y'all think of. The original Horkina vault, which was basically the same thing as the Pocopi Ava, but instead of doing a pipe
Barani, it was a
into a
Cuervo.
Cuervo, which is half turn into a pipe back, which is way harder than a pipe front half, but it doesn't get credit because the judges said it doesn't matter where you turn that in the air thing anymore, which is bullshit. But
why do I remember watching from the broadcasts in the 90s, the commentators were like, she's actually cheating it. Doing a Cuervo is easier than the Barani. Has the attitude changed over time? Or am I misremembering?
I think you're misremembering because I remember everybody used to be gagged at that Horkina vault. Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is so inventive! Oh my god, we can't believe." And it took people a long time to figure out how to do it, and it wasn't until the next
around.
Was Horkina cheating the vault? No. Yeah, Horkina probably was the only person who did the vault correctly because most people do it like that girl, like trying to turn early off of the table and piking, and it's just going to send you flying to the left side of the horse. Like
flying. She was flying.
Well, first of all, I don't think she was trying to do a Horkina vault. What I think she was trying to do was that full turn onto the horse, pipe back off that some of the girls try for whatever reason. And
who can say? I don't know. It could be either.
I don't think a Horkinas. I don't think you can do Cuervo vaults anymore. I think they're, for this reason, have been banned.
That's ridiculous. Then they need to ban the full twist entry vaults.
I think they are banned in the elite. But I think you can still do them in the NCAA.
That doesn't make sense to me.
When was the last time you seen somebody even try a full twisted entry vault in the elite? I think they are banned in the elite for that reason.
Right, I just meant it's not like in NCAA, if one is banned, then the full twist should be banned, in my opinion, if the Cuervos are banned.
But I think they're banned because of Michaela Skinner, actually, because of the way she used to twist early off of her chong. I think that's why the rule.
Let's clarify. In elite, the full twist or she was doing a Cuervo in college?
Who, Michaela Skinner?
Yeah.
Michaela Skinner was doing a double twist in your Chinko.
So what did you said you brought her up as an example for why they banned
the way she used to do her chong
in college or the full twist?
I'm talking about in elite, the way she used to do her chong with the one-handed twisting off the table, like not really doing a half turn onto the horse. She used to do the one-hand turning thing where you never knew when a half turn happened. It's just she was on the horse, and next thing you know, she was in the air, and they called it a chong. So I think because of that, the Cuervo technique was banned.
You mean the Luconi technique, the full twist?
I don't think that's what she was doing. I think what Michaela was cheating was doing a chong with the Cuervo technique of twisting early off of the table, and I don't think you can do it. I think you have to do it like, well, I think you're supposed to do half turn arm, block off into the air, then start twisting. I don't think you can twist directly.
Can't you agree that in theory you should be able to do a chong with the technique that You do your round off, you do your half turn, you block squarely, you delay the twist, and then you still do a half turn and then you flip backwards versus flipping forwards and then turning. Right?
So what you're saying is, we went into a whole tangent. I'm so sorry, everybody. You still think somebody should be able to do, as long as there's clear a half turn, and then I'm leaving the table and starting twisting.
I was saying you should be able to do a Cuervo without actually cheating, without turning early off of the table. Without cheating.
Jorquina was the only person that I've ever seen do a correct Cuervo.
You know why I thought the Cuervo was more difficult? Because didn't she only start doing the Barani at the 2000 Olympics after 6 years of doing the Cuervo? Yes. And they were like, "Oh, where did that come from?"
Correct. Because I think in that code of points, they told her she can't do the Barani anymore. She had to change it to the Poca Paeva, and she did it easily.
What do you mean they told her she couldn't do it?
I think they changed the rules with the Cuervo technique. I really think it's a rule that they can't do the Cuervo vaults. I think they have to do the pike front.
Oh, you think they changed? That's why she changed it for the Olympics?
Yes.
Did she? So she never did her Corkino 1 vault at the 2000 Olympics?
No. She did the Poca Paeva.
You think in qualifications she did the Poca Paeva and the Corkina 2?
No, qualifications she did the Poca Paeva twice.
When did she debut the Chung in team final?
Team finals, yeah.
Why would she be able to do 2 of the same vaults and get into the vault final?
That was the rules back then. You could do you didn't have to do 2 different vaults until the second phase of competition, which was finals. And prelims, you could do the same vault and still qualify. This is why a lot of people who qualified the vault finals would not do vault finals, because they didn't have a second vault of a different family.
Oh, that's so interesting. We need to have another conversation about this later.
Like, that's how Denise Lopez qualified the vault finals. She did the pike front half twice and got like really high 9/7 on those vaults. I mean, the layout front half twice.
And you feel certain about this?
I know I'm certain about this. I've watched that. I've been looking for her doing the damn Lopez. I'm like, wait, she did the layout front. Even me, I was confused. I didn't realize they could do the same vault twice in prelims. But
can you recall anyone who made it? They didn't have to make it. Let's start with anyone. Can you recall anyone doing 2 different vaults in prelims?
Some people did. If they just were used to doing 2 different vaults, some people did.
I discovered another vault that was named in the Sydney quad. And I won't want you to tell me if you think it's a 9.9 or a 10.0. Okay, ready?
Okay.
It's named after a Hungarian gymnast. Do you know who it is already? What did you say?
The Tuck Rudy?
What was that?
The Tuck Rudy?
I can't hear you anymore.
Was it the Tuck Rudy?
It was the Tuck Rudy.
Yeah, it was worth a 9.9.
That was so kind. She did it so well.
Yeah.
I loved it. Her name was Adrienne Neste, something like that.
Mm-hmm. But her issue is she had a horrible second vault. She was trying that damn Phelps. And
it was a little piked, but she stuck it most of the time.
It was horrible. It was for her, she did it nowhere near laid out. At least Simona Arminar tried laying it out for a second. Of course she couldn't, but
did she make it to the vault final? Or did she qualify? Did she do 2 vaults in Sydney?
I don't remember her even being in Sydney, so probably not.
One more question about this, and then we'll go back to NC2A, if you'll indulge me. Did you expect? Oh, this would be so interesting for other events also. I want to ask you now, like, were there any specialists that you expected to make finals going into the Sydney Olympics that didn't?
There
But
was no such thing as specialists back then. Everybody was an all arounder.
an all-arounder who had a who had a strength on a certain event.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking, like, for example, did you expect Kui Yuan Gwen to make vault final?
No,
She had great vaults.
she did, but again, the second vault was a thing, and what was she going to do for her second vault?
I think she had like a piked front, a pike front.
See, that's the thing with that quad. A lot of people had good first vaults, but then when you have them try to do something as a second vault, they just had nothing theirs. Like they could have done a Yurchenko 1.5 and a Yurchenko double, or a handspring layout front and a handspring layout front half, which was 9.899. But then,
Oh, sorry.
but then when you had to make them do a second vault from a different family, it was like, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am.
Did you expect Trudy McIntosh to make the vault final?
Again, what was she going to do as her second vault?
She had a Souk 1.5.
Oh, well then, maybe. I've never seen her do it, so.
She did it well a couple of times. Did you know that Yang Yoon had a Yurchenko 1.5?
Mm-mm. Did she ever competed?
Yes, but after the Sydney Games.
Well, that was not useful.
Let's go back. NC2A, Gators.
Let's go back.
Bruins. Let's talk about the Bruins.
Let's go back because I feel like Ezra is gonna have to go soon because he has to get ready for school tomorrow. So
Oh no, I'm fine.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yay.
Let's do our favorite part of the show, our SEC rankings. Now,
Yes.
I know we haven't. I did not watch the Georgia meet live.
No one did.
I've been waiting for number one Jim fan to post it, but he hasn't. And then I was trying to look on Addict's Twitter, and he hadn't posted it.
Was sick that day,
So yeah, I have not seen it.
I know they scored a 195. So scoring wise,
I don't know. I know they had errors. I just don't know where. I don't know.
and yeah.
Could it be possible that it's true? I thought I read that they're currently ranked the second best bars team in the country.
I will confirm that.
That's what they said, but again, I haven't seen the routines to know. Because if they did that good on bars, I'm like, well, what event did y'all did that bad on?
Probably BM.
Probably all three of the other ones.
Yeah, when I see the scores, their beam scores was very low.
Okay.
It's like 9-6 for a hit routine.
I think they counted a 9-6 and a fall.
Georgia scored a 195.9750.
So that's higher than Arkansas. Is it higher than Kentucky?
No, Kentucky was like 186 or something. Like Kentucky is another team that we need to stop disrespecting because Kentucky's again.
Oh my god.
Urza, can you confirm what Kentucky scored in week 2, please?
Yes, but just to go back to the Georgia thing, they are behind Oklahoma as the second best team on bars with a 49.350 average. So they did something on that.
They did great on bars. It's just the other three events.
Why are they so chaotic? I love them.
That's voicing.
I could not believe it when I read that.
Okay, so Kentucky scored I'm trying to confirm.
I don't think they scored 196. I think it
I
was
don't
a
think they
high
scored a
195.
I think
I
so
think it
too.
was below Georgia.
They
I
scored
don't.
a 196.5.
No.
Yes.
I watched
They
this
were
meet.
Kentucky week 2?
Yes,
week one.
they were
This was
great.
their first meet. They
Did
week
you
one.
not see that Bolton lineup? Kentucky ate them girls up on ball.
I
It's
didn't
just
say well.
Those
they
pie
don't have
paths.
they don't have a they don't have a strong beam team or floor, but bars and vault, Kentucky is very strong.
But they were
One
missing
gymnast.
a lot of their landings on bars.
Absolutely.
Yes. They don't have the star. They don't have a star.
Delaney's their star. She just had an off week.
She's not. And that's okay. She's not. I'm sorry. They don't have a star.
Delaney
she-
Harkness.
Delaney
No, that's
Rodriguez.
Delaney Rodriguez. They're both stars in my book.
Yes, Delaney Harkness is definitely a star. But if Delaney Rodriguez is Kentucky's star, then they should not make it to nationals.
I agree. She should
They're
go as an
doing better than
individual.
Georgia right now.
She needs to go as an individual and sweep.
Georgia might not even make the top 8 to make it to SEC championships.
That's my okay. So SEC rankings now. So we have. Can we go through? Wait, is it too hard to go through all of the SEC scores from this weekend, or is that too hard?
Absolutely not.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to start off with the lowest ranked SEC team, which is Arkansas, 195.8.
When you say ranking, are we talking about what are we talking about? I just
The
want to know
road-
about this week's scores.
The road to national rankings is like the best ranking because it has teams ranked on individually all around and individual gymnasts. It's just road to nationals. You can go on Google
Right.
and search it. Yes.
I just don't think it's so relevant to talk about their average or those scores from week 1 unless they didn't compete week 2.
No, I'm saying the highest score, the score that they scored at these meets.
He's saying where they rank them at in their system. So
Yes.
No, I don't quite understand how they rank them.
by the scores,
By the
that's how they
scores.
By which scores?
The
their
score.
average scores.
The
Yeah,
reason why
average.
Georgia is so high is
If
because
they only have one score, that's the average score.
I know, but I don't. There are teams that did really well week 1 and then didn't do as well week 2, and I don't want to know their average. I want to talk about their week 2 score.
I'm getting into it.
Okay, well, it wasn't clear.
Well, it's clear now.
Kinda, sorta.
Okay, Arkansas team score this week was a 195.875.
195. Oh, let me write it down so I could post it on the screen. Hold on.
Yes.
195 point what?
875.
875.
Yes.
For
The next team was Georgia.
Oh shit.
Do you have it?
Hold on. Arkansas. Do Georgia score? I'm gonna put them all.
Yes. Georgia's was 195.975, so a 10th higher.
975. UGA. Okay. Next team.
The next team was Auburn, which was 196.775.
Equals 196.775.
775.
That's a great score. Wow.
That is a great score, Auburn. Damn. I'm sorry. I've been disrespecting y'all asses. Damn. Okay.
Missouri next with a 196.7.
Okay, Missouri. 196.
That was from week 1. To be clear.
This is week 2.
No, they got this. They got a 196 this week too. Like
They got a 196.125, but I thought you said 196.7, which was week 1.
Oh, 196.125. Okay. Next team.
Okay, next team would be after Missouri would be Kentucky with a 1965.
965 even. So Kentucky
Yeah.
scored more than Missouri this week. Okay, that helps.
Wow.
Yes, they're ranked higher because they only have one score.
Mm.
The
Oh,
next team,
and Missouri average score is still lower than Kentucky's.
yes,
Okay,
because
okay, okay.
they had that 1977 and the one.
That
No,
makes
I'm
sense.
sorry, 196. Yes, the
That
next
makes
team would be Florida, which their only score so far was a 196.675.
And that has them on this website in seventh.
7. Yes,
in the whole country.
Yeah.
yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And then it would be
Alabama
Alabama.
with a 197.025, which was their only score because it was the first meet of the season for them.
And then it would be
LSU
LSU.
with a 197.650, which they did score this week.
Okay.
They're the number one team on floor in the country, right?
Yes, they are
That
currently.
makes sense to me. They
And
have
the
the
top team
best.
would be
They have absolutely, without a doubt, the best floor lineup this year.
absolute. And the top team would be Oklahoma 197.950, which they did score this week as well.
And they're number one on bars.
Yes.
So
They're number one. Well, they're number three. Kentucky's number one on both, actually. But
Wow.
average wise, it would be LSU because they
So
have two scores.
who do we think is the top beam school? Without looking, or did you already look?
I did not look yet, but
top
I'm
B
assuming it's
school
Oklahoma.
in the whole country.
They're not. They're number two.
I
Is it
would think it would
Utah?
be Utah.
Is it Utah?
I will confirm right now.
I would think it would be Utah.
Okay. So the number one BM team is Florida, but that's with a
Oh,
49.5, but that's
woo,
not the
woo,
average.
woo,
Florida,
woo.
Utah is number 3 on beam.
Yes, the
Hmm.
number two would be the number one team on average would be Oklahoma 49.463 were average, but the highest was a 49.525.
And guess what? UCLA is on bars.
They are 22.
Really?
I'm reading
Yes,
29.
I know they're in the 20s, and I know it's appalling.
Oh, because it's an average. Because first week. Because
Yes,
first week was bad. Okay.
because they did good on the second week.
Hmm. So for me, my number 9 team in the SEC, just based on, I'm doing it based on the scores they got this week. Plus, I'm based on potential of how I see where I think teams will be at later on. For me, the ninth best team in the SEC right now is the University of Georgia.
Absolutely.
Oscars, fight, say something.
I didn't see them. They have more stars on their team than um Arkansas does, as far as I'm concerned.
Oscar, don't you dare. Oscar, I'm sorry, don't do that.
You still think Georgia has more of a potential than Arkansas do?
I couldn't say. I haven't seen. But
The routines Georgia put up from the lineups were the strongest routines.
I believe that.
Point blank. So number 8, Michaela.
This is just where this is why I'm gonna explain. I feel like Georgia put up from what I see. I haven't seen it, which is hard because I haven't seen them. But
It's so unfair.
it is unfair. But I think Georgia put up their strongest team, and this is the score they got. Whereas Arkansas did not put up their strongest team, and this is the score they got. So I think Arkansas has more room for improvement from my perspective. This is
Why do you think that? Who do you think Arkansas is saving?
They're saving. Well, they did not have Laura Williams fouls. They didn't. We didn't see Ella Burgess, another transfer from Alabama, on BM.
She only does.
We did not see. She does floor as well. She does a great floor routine. She was consistently in the lineup for Alabama last year. She does floor as well. We didn't see.
Let me get some water, you guys. I'll be right back. I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you. Keep talking.
But they do have, I think, 1 or 2 injuries to athletes that don't really affect lineups. So yeah, and just routine-wise, they could do better, and so that's why I have Arkansas such high. So, what do you think is Michaela's number 8? It's going to be Oscar.
Who I think hers is gonna be. I think it's gonna be. I think it could be Arkansas. I think it could be.
Yes.
It could be Auburn. She doesn't like Auburn.
No, but she was shocked at how high Auburn
Yeah,
scored.
no, Auburn is like okay. So where are we at
But
now?
Auburn
So
scored. Didn't they have a score week 1 that wasn't as good?
yeah, they did.
No one did had a good score week 1.
Missouri did. Missouri did.
Missouri had a very strong score week 1.
But even Auburn's week 1 score beats Georgia's score.
Yeah, that's very true. So, Oscar, I know you don't agree. So, can you
There we go. That's all I needed. I just needed someone to co-sign it. I needed validation. Arkansas is last. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Can you make
Okay.
some points for why you feel like Arkansas can be last? Fight, sis, fight. Fight. Fight for your University of Georgia, girl.
Arkansas. Their gymnastics is not flashy, and then they weren't executing that well either. So it's like you have to have one or the other. In my book, I think Georgia has flashier gymnastics. Not saying they're as consistent. It just looks like they struggle to get into the high 9.8s, 9.9s.
He went straight for the jugular.
I mean, you're not wrong, Oscar. You're not wrong. It's okay. Fine. You know what? Fine.
My
Arkansas
bottom.
I would, because that's a very good point. And then I haven't seen Georgia, and Georgia could have looked really good. They could have just had errors that I'm just,
Okay,
because
here's
they
where
were
I'm
the
about to-
second bar team in the country. I mean, they have lots of potential that I just am not. I'm overlooking because I didn't see it. So
Okay.
it's easy to overlook something when you haven't saw it. And I have more faith in Arkansas right now because we saw Arkansas. So I can agree, Oscar. I can agree that.
So, Oscar, going back to your point about flashy gymnastics, is Georgia more flashy because they have more colored athletes than Arkansas?
Not necessarily. I was thinking more about the gymnasts that I'm familiar with, who I consider stars. I'm familiar with their elite routines, I guess. And I saw them training. They're keeping in some of the harder skills.
Okay.
What do you think?
Oh no, I agree. Definitely with Joffrey. She has high potential. Has not even come close to it.
I
She is
need
a
her to. Where are her handstands? Where are her handstands? How is she the number 2 team in the country on bars?
and she's the top ball, well, second best ball worker.
I love Jeffrey, but I didn't see a
She does a lot
handstand.
of difficulty on bars, and her difficulty makes up for her bad handstands.
Kinda. I think you're right.
Yes.
Okay, number 8.
Georgia.
No explanation needed.
Yeah, let's all put Georgia there.
Number 7.
Now this is where it starts to get hard.
I'm gonna try to watch Georgia's meet just to prove a point this week.
Yes.
We've
If
all
you
been
can find
trying to
it.
watch Georgia meet, but it's just nobody's posted it.
Oh, I forgot. I have an excuse. Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, the meet you need to watch is the damn
LSU.
LSU OU
Cal.
meet. Oh my god, that was so good. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll watch Kentucky's vaults
Yeah, Kentucky
Yes.
was really good.
and Arkansas's.
Kentucky going to score some 10s on those votes.
What about Missouri? What's their best event again? Bars or floor? Or
Whatever
bar?
events the color gymnasts are good on.
Wow. I would say Missouri is one of those teams that they're
Oh,
Nisha
Nisha does not hold back.
at all. I would say Missouri is one of those teams that they're very, I'm not gonna say mid, but mid is the word that's coming to my mind on all the events. Like I don't think they have one event that they are spectacular on. They're just very consistent across the board.
yes.
But I remember Shano brought to our attention that they looked good on bars, one of their meets.
Yeah, when we rewatched it, they look better on bars and than we were giving them credit for it. And when we first was like,
Right,
oh my god,
we had Missouri last. We hadn't watched them. And Kentucky last. Now we're trying to put Georgia last because we haven't watched them. And we have Arkansas in 9th.
I mean Arkansas, okay, but we saw Arkansas, and I think Arkansas being in last place at this point in time is very valid.
No, I know. I just think it's funny that the first 2 weeks, I think we had Arkansas in 4th.
I know.
Yes.
I know. So much potential. So
But
Okay.
there's no question that Jocelyn's going to help that team a lot.
absolutely.
The echo is back for me. I don't know if anyone can hear.
A little, but it's not bad.
Okay.
I think that's Ezra.
I think it's just me moving.
I do think it's you moving because as soon as you stop moving, the echo went away from me.
Yes.
Okay. So at number 6, this is where it gets hard because we
Number
have a lot of. I mean, number 7. 7. I'm so sorry. Number 6, 5, 6, and 7 is going to be hard because we have 3 teams that can go there in several different positions. I'm going to go for
These 3 teams. Could any of those 3 teams break 197?
I think all
Right
3
now.
of these teams are going to be pushing 197 toward mid-season. It's going to take them a couple of
I
weeks.
see that, but I feel like that's how I'm interested in seeing those 3, distinguishing those 3, which is going to be most likely to get 197s soon.
If the scoring stays like the scoring so far, it's going to be like at their best a 197.
For all 3?
Yes.
Did they use Olivia Greaves this week, Auburn?
They definitely use on bars, I'm assuming. And BM.
Oh. and I didn't hear about it, so it probably wasn't great.
It was alright. Like her gymnastics.
Oops. Olivia, Olivia's darling, these opinions do not come from me. I love you.
Me neither. That's why I asked about her.
Okay, so I'm gonna go at number 7, Kentucky.
Yes.
But they didn't even look that good, and they got a 196.5. Don't you? I feel like they have the most room for improvement, and I haven't watched Auburn.
Auburn is good.
But do they have
I
room
feel
for?
like Auburn is just a step ahead of them because Auburn is better on beam
Mhm.
when they hit. Auburn doesn't have the vaults, but Auburn have a stronger beam rotation
Auburn does
and
have a lot of votes. They just can't get the landings
But
consistently.
who is the stronger team mentally?
Kentucky.
Kentucky definitely.
I think Kentucky should be ahead of Auburn. I don't know about Missouri.
I wouldn't say Kentucky had Auburn. I wouldn't.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Oh,
I would keep Kentucky where they at.
it's so hard. It's so hard.
Wait, let's put that on pause and talk about where Missouri should be.
Missouri's
I-
ahead of both of them,
Missouri is fifth.
in my
I
opinion.
wasn't sure. Okay.
In my opinion, Missouri's ahead of both of them.
I mean, the top four is clear. Then you have Missouri. Then everyone else.
Why would Missouri? Why would Kentucky not be fifth? They're the number one vault team in the country.
Who said that?
I thought you did. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, average wise, they won't be there for long.
Don't they have 6 10.0 vaults?
No, they do not. They have 3 amazing handspring pike halves and 1 tuck. Handspring half on tuck. The seeing vault Jordan is doing. It is not cute. But it's there.
And
And
they
then
got 2 really good Yurchenko fulls. Don't give
Yeah.
Kentucky too much. There's
Oh, no,
there's argument for all 3 of these teams to be in different positions, but because they're all 3 of these teams are very close to each other. So the only thing that I can really separate these 3 teams for at this point in time, this is why I'm putting Missouri ahead of them. Missouri for 2 weeks in a row did really good. That's something that most of these teams can't say. Most of these teams had one really good week and one really sloppy week, or this was their first week period. Missouri so far, 2 meets in, it's like, bitch, nah, bitch, we here. We is here. And so consistency wise, I will put Missouri at number 5. Kentucky and the reason I'll put Kentucky at number 7, this was their first week. So they only had 1 week of competition.
also, did you remember that they had a lot of trouble getting to the actual meet, and they didn't have much time to prepare.
That's true too.
Did you catch that on the broadcast?
I did not.
It was like they went through it. They were at the airport for like 12 hours and got sent home, and then got a private jet, and they had like an hour to prepare and eat before the meet.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I think Kentucky should be number 6, Auburn should be 7, and Missouri 5. Because I believe you guys about Missouri.
I can see it. I can see it because Auburn had 2 weeks and I could do it. I could do it. Because I believe in my damn Kentucky.
But we all agree they're very close. It's like It's not hairs. It's one of what's bigger than a hair. You said recently something that I liked about OU versus LSU and how they're not tiers, but they're
Oh,
like
they're
shades.
they're just LSU is just one like a slice of cheese, a cheese slice behind. Not even a whole slice of cake, just a tiny bit behind OU. And I do. All three of those teams are right there with each other. They're in the same damn tier. It's just depending on who hits. Like that would be an interesting quad meet. Somebody at the SEC for next season.
Who's the fourth team?
Georgia, give Georgia some time to grow.
Wilberforce.
Wilberforce. Maybe there'll be another. Maybe there'll be a HBCU in the SEC soon.
God willing.
Because we do have some Division One HBCUs. Not all the
Yes.
HBCUs are Division Three. So let's step it up and get a Division One HBCU. Somebody.
So they just don't. The Division One HBCUs don't have gymnastics programs.
No, but they have amazing sporting programs.
Who are the? Could you mention some of them?
I have one in the city of Tallahassee. The what is it? Damn, FAMU Rattlers. They're a Division One school.
We also have North Carolina A&T.
That's great to know. Okay.
So this is gonna be another hard one between 3 and 4. I know I said I was gonna put Alabama as number 3, but y'all motherfuckers crazy if y'all think I was really gonna do that. I think Alabama is the 4th best team. I think Florida is the 3rd best team.
Mm-hmm.
I did not watch Alabama. Did you?
Yeah, I watched it.
I'm fine with that.
Ezra?
Absolutely.
Oh, well then, well, shit. Then it's not too much. Well, then LSU is number 2 and OU is number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely. LSU's coming
LSU is coming.
until they drop off.
So yeah, those are our rankings for this week.
What are you gonna publish though? Because we didn't agree on everything. Don't put my name on Georgia 9th.
Oh no, we said Arkansas would be 9th.
Yeah, we put Arkansas at 9. We put Georgia at 8. We put Auburn at
Kentucky.
7, Kentucky at 6, Missouri at 5, Bama at. Shut up.
Oh, so Urza, you're okay with putting Auburn 7th?
I mean, for Kentucky, for it to be the first meet and for them to do that good, like right under Georgia's Auburn's top score, then yes.
Oh, that's so understanding of you. Okay. Nisha thinks Florida should be 4th.
I know she thinks that Florida should be 4th, but I wouldn't give a damn. Florida, unless Florida falls to 3 schools over here.
Absolutely.
Urza, based off of their performances this weekend, does Florida deserve if you go event for event, who's the better team on each event between Bama and Florida?
Florida definitely better on vault. Alabama had 2 near falls on vault. Bars. I'm gonna give it to Alabama because they can swing some bars. Florida definitely.
I give Beam to Bama.
Really?
I give Beam to Bama.
So it's close.
I was
Then
gonna
we
give
have Florida, where I think Florida
with Lori Brubeck.
One routine.
that I will never forget.
It's just so bad.
Okay, so they're very. Do you think they're closer? Who's closer, LSU or OU? LSU and OU, or Auburn and or Alabama and Florida?
I
Alabama
think
and Florida right now.
I think Florida's going to get better by a lot. Like they're going to score
And
really
yeah,
high against LSU.
I hope so. That's my team.
Nisha says Florida own beam, all the beams. So Nisha said Florida is the better beam team.
That's interesting. Okay. Nisha sounded really upset when Selena got the 9-9.
Because Nisha's just a hater.
You might be right. I'm realizing now.
Because Florida, okay, if I could, my internet's not been acting the best today. Let me not pull it. There was nothing really wrong with Selena Harris' beam routine. It wasn't the best beam routine she could have possibly done, but was it bad? No.
Could Leanne take another year if she gets a master's?
I don't think
No.
so because Leanne never was hurt and she never took
Mm.
her Olympic season off. So I think Leanne just did all 4 years.
Yeah,
Well,
she
what
ain't-
if she breaks her leg this week?
Now, if she got
do
hurt-
not say that.
No, I don't think she could because she already started the season. I think your red shirt is when you.
I thought it was the first 3 weeks if you get injured.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was preseason.
No, because Brooklyn was kind of redshirted in 2022. Kind of. I agree, Nisha. I agree.
I do not want Sky to be in this bar lineup. I love you, Sky Blakely. You are my favorite gymnast, but until your bars become NCAA ready, no. Your
I
bars-
don't like the regional release for Sky.
You
I
know,
don't like that.
you know what year it's gonna be when we finally stop waiting for Sky to hit her Higgins roll in handstand? 2028.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
when she's a senior.
Yes, Sky, because those Higgins, like, those are not NCAA ready. Like, they're just not. Like,
And you totally clocked the soggy back in the pack and the leg separation.
yeah, it's just not.
But those are things she can fix.
Oh,
I
absolutely. Like,
really trust.
and those are things that all of the elite girls do when they get to college. Like, even Connor still has a little bit of a soggy back on her pack, but they really improved it a lot.
I love her release, her reach now. She does it really well.
Who, Sky?
Yeah.
I wish you would do her Pike Jaeger instead. I think it was.
I think that the reach now is too hard for NCAA, but she does it really well.
I don't
she
think
does
she
it
was.
to me, she does it exactly how the elite code asks it to be done.
Yeah, I think she would have to learn how to do a ray because Sky doesn't really do toe on skills like that. She either do starters or.
She does it toe full in elite and to a Van Leeuwen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But how is she going to get rid of the Higgins roll? Because she can't do a blind change.
Change her dismount.
Yeah,
I hope she does, but I feel like I'm worried she's too attached to her dismount.
Sky, giant full double tug. It's the NCAA grudge.
What about a hop change?
But she would have to. But at that point in her bar routine, she's already facing. She would have to
She changes the routine. She does hop change. No. What did she do now to get back
Either
up?
way, let me
She
tell
do
you the gap part. Even if she changed that bar routine and we're asking her to change the release move, so the other release move she knows is a Pike Jaeger. So either way, a Higgins would be in that routine. So the issue isn't changing the routine. The issue is Sky. You must learn how to hit them Higgins into handstand in college, girl. Like,
What if she keeps the rich nut and does a blind chain or a grip hop into?
the double front half. But I'm
Yeah.
saying how? Like, you're not answering how she's gonna get there.
What is she? Did she do a Van Leeuwen this week?
No, she did that where they jump from the low bar to the high bar on top of the bar.
The fakey transition? Well, she can just do a. She can do a. Why would I rather her do a cast half than a Higgins roll? That deduction trap.
Yeah. She already got to get that cast a handstand, two handstand first before you try to add her a half turn to it.
She did a good final handstand this week.
She did. I wonder if Sky can do front giant skills, not in invert position like in regular giant swings.
Wait,
She always
she does her Jaeger and her actual dismount out of L grip?
Uh-huh. Because in the elite, she goes.
That's crazy.
She does toe circle to Higgins to her Pike Jaeger, and then her dismount she does starter circle to Higgins to double front half. So yeah.
Why did I think that she did like her Higgins? I thought that she literally just used L grip to get into the forward giants, but then she like, I guess I thought she switched from L grip to reverse before she does the actual release.
She releases an L grip.
That's very unique, right?
It's very Ukrainian. I mean, it's not. It doesn't. Audrey Davis does do the same thing.
You know I don't have the eye for L grip.
But Audrey Davis Higgins rolls are stunning.
I only feel comfortable referring to these Higgins rolls because I've seen other people who I trust call them Higgins rolls.
Basically, a Higgins roll is nothing but just a half turn to L grip. That's it.
Right. I know what it is, but I can't visually distinguish between that and a regular blind change to reverse grip.
So Oscar, we have some elite gymnastics news that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, there were a couple things that caught my
Let me
interest.
plug up my computer.
But do you feel like we're done talking about NCAA?
I'm comfortably done talking about NCAA.
All right.
And that's where I will be signing off. Because.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about with NCAA?
No, I think we covered everything, and I'm tired.
Okay. Get some rest.
Okay, love y'all.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Enjoy school tomorrow.
Bye. Thank you.
Get your A's. So the two things that I mentioned is I asked Michaela if she had seen them in no particular
Oh my God,
order.
there is something in NCAA that we have to talk about. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Let's do it.
But this is part of the gym news too, so it's all in the same segment. We're not wrong. We're not wrong. We're just um. First of all, ladies, if you ever decide to get braids, right, and people decide to try to convince you to put this boho shit in your braids, you cuss them bitches out and tell them hell no. You know how hard it is to maintain this damn boho shit and these damn locks? It is stupid hard. So yeah. And with that being said, you are some racist ass motherfuckers out there on the gym internet. How y'all attacking Kirsten Johnson because she has her They Not Like Us floor routines of this season, and y'all are up here being like, just do gymnastics, stop dancing, stop doing all of this. Same with Jordan Childs. Like, what is it with black gymnasts when they decide to do routines based on the musical influences that they like and trust? Now is stop being so good, stop being so black, stop doing this. Like, do y'all just want gymnastics like it's gymnastics ballet music only and boring as shit and just seeing girls like it is so fucking frustrating as a fan, as a black gymnastics fan, to watch all these gymnasts for doing fine culturally relevant to them. Like I made George Childs take out her whole salt and pepper 90s routine. Like it's just disgusting, and like y'all are being very rude, very facetious.
I loved Kirsten's floor routine, and I didn't know that people were that it was sparking so many different opinions and so much hate. It sounds like I totally missed that.
Absolutely, and just it's very sad. It's very 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 sad that um that the black girls have to go through that. But if it was Brooklyn Moores or Victoria Wynn doing some balletic dance bullshit for a minute and 30 seconds, opening tumbling pass as a handspring double twist in front, dismounting tumbling pass, Rudy, y'all would be like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Oh my God, the balletic movement. Oh my God, Brooklyn Morris is playing another dying clown. Oh my God. But when Kirsten or Jordan or Shay does something that speaks to them, is just do gymnastics. Just flip. Shut up, N-word, and flip. That's all we want to hear you do is flip.
It sounds like people are like having a hard time respecting that the gymnast's choice to for how they want to express themselves in their routine, and it's not for anyone else to decide or judge, really. I mean, you can give your opinion, of course, but you should there should be equal respect for everyone's decision and equal treatment.
And there never is.
Are you going to show us the routine? Are you looking for it?
For yes, I'm looking for it, and I'm looking for more so the backlash. Okay.
I'm going to switch my device really quick. Let me back in.
Okay. I like Aaliyah Finnegan's routine. Do, do, do. Oscar.
Hey, I'm back. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
so can y'all see it? Now, I'm not going to play the music
Did Marcello, they
because
come and look at the room?
Sorry?
Did Marcello come and look at the room? Is that the name?
No, not yet. But I think he's coming this week.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
We have a bunch of mutual friends. I think I met him a few years ago in college. He was really nice. Are you playing it? It's a bit buff. It's a bit. I was about to say it's a bit butch. It's not butch. It's it's just a bit buffery.
I want to see the comment more than her routine
Oh, well, are
is
you able to read the comment?
just do damn
Thank you.
gymnastics. The very first comment I see is just do gymnastics. Next comment I see is too much Esther. Just stick to the gymnastics and leave the Esther dance for no way. If anything, she might get a reduction in point.
Wow.
Those are very.
Are
This
those
is a
from like
positive.
what's
Somebody
are those from like
said,
bot accounts or real people?
say what you will about them. Go ahead. They're from real people. From ESPN has decided to repost the team, and these are people commenting under sports.
What was the positive comment?
Underneath her post, or whatever. So I just been seeing a lot of the positive. One of the positive comments I saw was the moves the coach here. You go, man. Proper representation matters. That fits her crown. That she killed it. Somebody said this girl's gonna be a star. I said Drake is about to sue Temple for her using this music, which is possible.
I hope not.
Then here goes somebody Is this dance or gymnastics? And somebody said gymnastics is a strange sport. Insanely impressive, but very hard to understand how it is judged. Yeah. Leave Kirsten Johnson alone. Sis rants because your favorite Becky is not going viral. Let's keep it pushing. Gym news.
Gym news?
Yes, did you have some gym news for us?
Okay, I think all I have is, oh no, my coffee spilled. So I heard that,
You're
or I read
a drinker,
actually.
Oscar?
Yeah, I am.
Oh no, you're a coffee drinker? I did
Yeah, I
not know
am.
that about you.
I'm just interested that you're surprised or that you think it's a big deal. Either way.
Yeah,
I was
didn't know
surprised
were a
you
coffee drinker.
don't drink coffee.
I do
Totally.
drink coffee, but I stopped. I used to smoke cigarettes. I stopped.
Okay, I do both.
Now I just have a
Did you
now
try
I
to
have
stop drinking coffee, or was it just you weren't interested?
no. What happened is coffee started giving me. I think I'm allergic to caffeine actually, because it would give me just this really bad heartburn.
Oh, see, my heart is beats hard all the time, all day. So it makes no difference.
Yeah, so when I stopped drinking coffee, my heartburn kind of went away. So like it wouldn't be heartburn. It was like
Does it make your heart race? That's pretty common.
it's not race. It's like a pain, like a sharp pain, and like
Oh, that's not
I
good
don't
at
know.
all. Maybe you should tell a
No,
doctor about that the next time you go.
yeah,
Making me concerned for you and your health.
the coffee was just. Aw, thank you. But coffee just was not my friend. I gave up coffee about the last time I drank a cup of coffee is when I used to work at my at Motel 6.
So it's not like you have the desire to drink coffee and you're fighting that every day or anything.
No.
Good. It's definitely addictive.
It is. And them people I used to love them. I never was a Starbucks Bucks girl. I was Dunkin's girl, so I used to love Dunkin's coffee.
I'm such a Dunkin' girl. There's one on my corner. They're sick of me there. They make so much fun of me.
I was feeling kind of down, you guys. Now I kind of feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. I was so sleepy when we were supposed to get on. I was
Yeah,
so doubtful I would make it. But now
I
I'm
literally just
I'm
woke
really
up.
glad that I did.
I literally just woke up and was like, okay, I'm gonna be like, hey, let's do a show. And when nobody answers, I'm gonna be like, see, I offered to do a show, but nobody answered me. So whatever. But
LOL.
Ezra actually answered my
That's
head.
not entirely true. You waited like a good half an hour. You were
Oh, I
generous.
know, but I'm just saying. I just was like, Once nobody respond, and I take my ass back to sleep, and they were like, Michaela, what happened? My excuse was going to be like, hey, I offered, nobody answered. But people actually did answer this time, so I actually had to get the hell up and actually get on. And I'm glad I did because I feel a lot better. I feel like we actually talked about some good stuff. I feel like we gave the people a good show.
Definitely. It was good. Good times.
We're coming up to the end of it shortly, but I still want to get to this gym news.
I'm sorry, I keep delaying. So basically, all I know is that there are two pieces of news. The first one comes from Germany, the second one comes from Romania. In no
Okay.
particular order, Pauline Schaefer, a 3-time world medalist on balance beam and including a world champion on balance beam, a 2-time Olympian, 3-time Olympian, like 2 or 3, one of those. I can't remember, I'm sorry. But she posted a statement on her on her social medias, and she provided a translation. And I'm happy to share with you what she posted.
Yes.
It was speaking critically against some parts, if not all, of German gymnastics in Germany. Maybe it was specifically about her club. I can't remember, but let's get into it, and I'm sure she will clarify. It's not the shortest post ever, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So Paulina, is it Tabitha? Okay, for whatever reason, when you first told me this story, in my mind, you told me the name, and I got Tabitha off. But you just said it. You said Paulina Schaefer.
It's Pauline Schaefer, their world champion, not what is her name? Tabia Alt.
For whatever reason, when you first told me this story, I heard Tabitha off. Like, and I'm like, damn, that's big. But now you're saying it's Paulina Schaefer, which is even more big.
Well, she's definitely a more successful gymnast internationally.
Absolutely.
Okay. Her statement reads, she captioned the statement with open words for a closed system. It is time to pay attention and act. Hashtag Gymnast Alliance. Okay, so it starts off with, there are different sections. The first section is repeated systematic failures. Repeated systematic failures. The recent allegations by former national gymnasts about the conditions at the National Training Center in Stuttgart, where Worlds were held in 2019 and 2007 and 1989. The recent allegations by former national gymnasts about the conditions at the National Training Center in Stuttgart deeply shock me and bring back all my own experiences. I know what it feels like to be trapped in such a system. It takes unimaginable courage to address or make these grievances public. Back in 2018, my sister and I raised the problematic conditions at the National Training Center, so it's not just her gym,
Oh
in
wow.
in Chemnitz internally and informed those responsible. What has changed? Nothing. Issues like psychological abuse and medication misuse were not taken seriously, and real consequences failed to materialize. Thus, our last resort was to go public, which we did at the end of 2020, together with over 14 gymnasts and coaches, to draw attention to the problematic conditions. Sorry, there's a plane.
No, you're fine.
Thus, our last resort was to go public, which we did at the end of 2020, together with over 14 gymnasts and coaches, to draw attention to the problematic conditions at the Chemnitz Training Center and the failure of the German gymnastics system. Our story was not an isolated case. Many athletes have had similar experiences, some of which persist to this day. What we aimed to highlight and continue to highlight is a systemic problem. It was never about holding individuals accountable or assigning blame. Instead, it was about drawing attention to the deep structural deficiencies in the system and pushing for changes to better protect athletes in the future. A central problem remains, however. Those responsible for these grievances are shielded by the system. As long as this remains the case, there will be no real change. Although some measures were initiated by the German Gymnastics Federation, also known as DTB, as in DTB Pokal, that the US sends a team to sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Although some measures were initiated by the German Gymnastics Federation, DTB, and the Olympic Training Center, OSP, which I acknowledge, these fall far short. The warnings back then were not taken seriously enough, and the current developments make it clear that the system remains dysfunctional and fails to adequately protect athletes. Should I keep going?
Yes.
Or do you want, I just wanted to give you space to talk about what I'm saying.
No, I'm gathering my opinions as you're talking.
Okay. The next section is called Resistance Within the System.
Oh wow, it's sections?
Kinda. I took
Oh
this
my
step.
god. I'm gagged. I'm so sorry, Oscar. I know I'm gagged right now. Continue, please.
You know, you need to keep an eye out for my Gymnastics Saves Lives Instagram stories because I post stuff like this on there. Okay.
Oh.
Pauline says, I took this step while still actively competing, which she means speaking out publicly, often fearing that I would not be able to continue my career because of the consequences. I endured massive hostility and harassment. Physiotherapy treatments were no longer made available to me as an Olympic athlete because they wanted to, quote, remain neutral on the issue. Efforts were actively made to deny me training times and to turn people against me. As a result, I relocated my training to the men's gym and purchased my own balance beam. The world champion purchased her own balance beam.
Crazy.
Looking back, taking this issue public was still the right thing to do, but it illustrates how great the resistance is within the structures and how difficult it is to drive change. Okay, the next section is growing openness and understanding.
Wow.
I mean, they're short sections. That's just the title.
This is like a book.
Before I even continue, I want to thank Pauline for speaking out in such detail and so articulately, and being so brave to speak out for her and other gymnasts and the culture.
Gymnasts be like, yeah, something happened, but I don't want to talk about it. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Maybe it's because they're not world champions, individual world champions. I'm just joking. That was a joke in bad taste. Sorry.
Reading Allie Raceman to her face.
Okay. Growing openness and understanding. I am glad to see that more and more people are adopting a more open attitude towards these difficult topics. It is encouraging that the voices of those who have experienced grievances are now met with greater understanding and support without being subjected to hostility, harassment, or threats, as was the case for us. Then she says, open questions. Responsibility should have been taken much earlier. To this day, I am still asking myself the following questions. How can coaches against whom serious allegations have been made continue to work in the system? Are initiated investigations and measures being implemented consistently and sustainably? How many athletes still have to suffer before something truly changes? These questions highlight the urgent need for action to address the existing problems. As long as coaches associated with such allegations or individuals and organizations that overlook or cover up abuse and misconduct can continue their work, Let me read that again. These questions highlight the urgent need for actions to address the existing problems. As long as coaches associated with such allegations or individuals and organizations that overlook or cover up abuse and misconduct can continue their work. Okay, that's what she said. It remains it was a comma, not a period. As long as coaches associated with such allegations or individuals and organizations that overlook or cover up abuse and misconduct can continue their work, it remains doubtful whether real change will ever be possible. Next section, lack of sustainable personnel consequences.
Wow.
After all these years, this topic continues to affect me deeply. Gabby Freze, I'm mispronouncing that name, sorry, is still active at the National Training Center in Chemnitz, hosting training camps with the Austrian team and reportedly planning preparations for the European Championships this year in Leipzig, Germany, which I hope to attend. That was me, not Pauline. The German Gymnastics Federation, DTB, and the Olympic Training Center in Chemnitz have only minimal room to act. This shows that the structures are failing, period. Consequences remain absent. This is not only a slap in the face for the affected athletes, but also a fatal signal for the future of the sport. Next section. Systematic problems. Competitive sports are incredibly demanding, physically, emotionally, and mentally. To achieve top performances, it is often necessary to push and sometimes exceed one's limits. Anyone who chooses this path is aware of it. However, there are clear boundaries that must not be crossed. As soon as the physical or emotional well being of athletes is endangered, these boundaries have been breached. There is an urgent need for action to ensure the protection of athletes. The system has a duty to guarantee this protection and finally act comprehensively and responsibly. The sports system bears clear co-responsibility as immense pressures for success is placed on coaches. However, this can never justify misconduct. No success, no medal justifies the suffering of athletes. Next section, urgent need for action. It is imperative that profound reforms are implemented, not cosmetic adjustments. The problems are structural, and as long as those responsible do not act actively and consistently, the same issues will continue to arise. The goal must be a system that respects and protects athletes as human beings, not just as a means to an end. There must be no room for misconduct, and clear, sustainable changes are needed to ensure that athletes do not have to suffer in such structures again. Finally, she says, a respectful approach is not an obstacle to long-term success, but the foundation for it. Performance and humanity must not stand in contradiction to one another. Only in a system that places appreciation, security, and respect at its center can athletes fully realize their potential while staying healthy and strong. That's the end.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm coming.
Go off, Pauline.
Go off, sis. Okay. Isn't she like the second or third German gymnast to have said that the German Federation also have some scandalous stuff going on over there?
I would not be surprised at all, but I can't actually think of anyone else at this moment. I know that there was a lot of mess between Elizabeth Seitz and Helen Kevrich when the German Federation was deciding who would be the individual athlete to send to the Paris Olympics. I think that the German Federation was messy and mishandled that and was not fair to all the athletes.
You think they should?
And also didn't speak up when the athletes were getting harassed and bullied. They didn't try to stop that really.
Mm.
So I'm
So
glad
how?
Pauline spoke up. I agreed with everything she said. How about you?
Um, I agree with a lot of what she said. It still baffles me that it seems like every major gymnastics program in the world, it's not even in, it's in the world, have this exact issue. So the question is gymnastics the problem?
No. How could gymnastics be the problem? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding what you mean. The gymnasts are never the problem.
The gymnasts themselves aren't the problem. I'm saying gymnastics, the sport itself. The system of coaching, the way it's handled, is all of that just the problem?
Would you care to elaborate, please?
There has never been not one successful program in all of gymnastics, NCAA or elite, that has not gone through something like this.
Okay, well, let's look at other sports. Can you think of a sport where it has happened?
The only other sport I know is figure skating, baby. I don't know.
But how do we know it's not just a sports thing and not a gymnastics thing?
In other sports, and again, maybe this is because I don't follow other sports, it doesn't feel like their athletes, either in the middle of the sport or when they retire, are always coming back to be like, well, fuck gymnastics. I'll never put my kids in gymnastics, and my kids would never do this, and this, and the third.
I don't
And
feel like I'm qualified to chime in because I don't follow other sports.
and then also in other sports, it's just not. I mean, some coaches have some minor things always happen. Some schools have minor things, but it's like in gymnastics, it's always sex abuse, coaches carrying on, male coaches, bribing parents. It's just always a lot.
I definitely agree. It is a lot.
Not getting surgeries, getting too many surgeries. It's always something with our sport. It's always something.
That was crazy that she had to train with the men and buy her own balance beam. They weren't giving her rehab access. They were denying her coaches. She even said they were misusing medication.
Again, very similar to things that Kalia Nemore had to go through. And the thing is with our sport, it's just it doesn't matter the level, your success. It could happen to anybody. Anybody seems to could get it. From the top is because at one point in time I used to think, okay, maybe some girls who are like lower levels would go through that shit, but like not Simone, not Gabby, not the top level girls. Hell, now I realize the top level girls get it the worst. They just can deal with it better.
I definitely think the top girls get it the worst.
And my question remains: do you think it's coaching practices? Do you think it's the culture? Do you think it's the youth of the sport? Do you think it's because so many of the gymnasts are so young that people just naturally take advantage of them? Do you think it's so
Well, I
many
think
places?
more than one of those things is true, but I think the driving issue for me is that success is placed over the athlete's well-being, and the coaches are really just they try to copy other successful programs regardless of how they treat the athletes and how the athletes end up feeling.
I do know one other sport, which is football, and the only reason I know it is because my brother was in the NFL. So I do know with him in football. I don't want to speak for him. But I do know he have. I don't want to say emotional issues because that's the wrong thing. But even with my brother, and he was in the NFL for 10 years, have had surgeries. He tore his ACL. He's tore his Achilles. He had to have his knee reconstructed. This motherfucker every Sunday will watch football like it's religion still to this day. Like he didn't go through that shit. He can still sit there and be entertained by it. What I mean is these
Well,
gymnasts.
injuries don't necessarily mean that the coaching was misbehaving. They
No,
can
but
be inevitable sometimes.
correct. But I'm just saying, like, he's never been through that where like he felt like the coaches was like taking advantage of him. I'm sure he had. I'm sure he does on some level, but it's not to where when the football players they come after the NFL as a whole for their money, right? Also, it was that CTE thing where when the football players would die and they'll go back and rescan their brains, they'll be like, "Damn, dog, this man has so many damn brain injuries and nobody knew about it." So I'm not saying they don't have things, but it doesn't feel like it's to this international level where like at every corner of
Ooh,
every
ooh, ooh,
football.
ooh. Here's a good question.
Go ahead.
What do we take away when we compare the men versus the women in gymnastics?
That's a great because the men are a little bit older. Not that much older, but just a little bit older.
But we don't hear about nearly as much abuse from the gymnasts themselves or toxic culture, right? Compared to the women. Could it be that they're being treated differently, or could it
I got
also be that they have different feelings about speaking out and the repercussions
Can I
and
take it
how
one
that makes
step
them
further than
look?
that? Can I take
Please.
it one step further than that? One step further than that is you do hear those abuse allegations, but you hear them a lot from the queer gymnasts or the male gymnasts that are openly queer. Do you think it's a thing where it happens just as much in men's gymnastics or in all male dominated sports? They just don't talk about it because they're men and they're not supposed to acknowledge their pain. Or even deeper than that, they're men and they're actually getting paid for this. So they're like, well, it's a part of the cost. I have all these millions of dollars. So a coach cursing me out one day at football practice, it really doesn't mean too much because at the end of the day, look at this big ass house. Whereas the gymnasts, they don't have that. They are starting to get it now, but a select few are starting to get it now, but they don't have that monetary value, and they're also women, so they're more emotional. I'm not saying this is an excuse, but women tend to vocalize their pain a lot more than men do.
Right.
Like the
For me,
Catholic priest was terrorizing little boys for decades, and nobody knew about it until men started
quote,
in the
put
90s.
air quotes, Michaela.
Where
Nobody knew about it.
nobody knew about it. I mean, the general public, unless you were Catholic. I didn't know about it, to be honest, because I'm not Catholic. But because men weren't as vocal as some other groups of people, do you think that's part of it too?
Hmm, okay, you said a bunch of things just now, so it's hard to respond to all of them at once. But
Long
what I
story
want to
short, do you
say
think
is, I
in,
do want to
in
say
male
that
dominated
I think
sports, let me clarify the question. In male dominated sports, the reason why we don't hear these things as much is because men just don't talk about these issues the way women do.
hard agree. But you said something else in there that I don't necessarily see, which is that I don't think that I don't think it's fair or accurate to generalize that men would be able to forgive, quote, for lack of a better word, the hardships they went through or abuse because they've made money more than women. Now, I'm not saying that women make as much money as men. Don't get me wrong. That's not true. But I just don't see why the men would be like more understanding because of the money they made than a woman would be.
Let me give you an example. Look at the most successful gymnasts in our sport, in gymnastics. A lot of the times, the ones that are rich, they don't speak out against the coaches. Actually, they're like,
But
"Why
which
she was
which
untalented."
which sex are we talking about, or which gender?
Women, we're talking about the
Those
women
are
in our
different
sport.
things. The women. Okay.
We're talking about the women in the sport who are successful. Look at the Nadias. Look at the Svetlana Horkinas. Look at the Nastia Lee, the Mary Lou Retton. The people who were able to have monetary value from gymnastics. They don't speak out. They are in support. They're like, change? What change? Look at me. I done made all of this from gymnastics. Gymnastics saved my life. And then you look at other girls who may have not gained that monetary value. They don't. They speak out hard because they have nothing to lose.
Well, Simone is an outlier. Simone's richer than all those girls.
I think because Simone can. Like nothing. USA Gymnastics. Simone is and Ali Raceman to a certain. There's nothing USA Gymnastics can do to harm them girls now, because they have broken that system in America now. I don't think other countries have broken that system where they can. They're more popular than the coaches.
Yeah. So
Something
to
that
me,
that's
I don't see that personally.
go ahead. That's fine.
No, that's all I wanted to say really about
These are
that.
just my opinions and my questions I'm bringing up.
But yes, I totally agree with the other point you made, which was that men are taught to suppress their emotions and are considered weak or gay. Oops. When they talk about those things, when they appear vulnerable.
So we're gym news that we could briefly talk about. Well, not briefly, but however it happens. The Romanian girl.
Sure, are we done with Pauline?
I mean, Mama A. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, Mama A.
Okay. So the other. Oh, let's also mention that Simone and Rebecca met up in New York last night, and they had a nice hug that was captured on film. I'm sure. I think they also were speaking, but I didn't listen to them speak.
That was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I like that too. Okay, the other thing is it's about Amalia Puflia, who is a Romanian gymnast. Amalia, I'm just trying to remember what she was, like the 2022 European junior champion on floor. She won multiple gold medals at the European Youth Olympic Festival that year, and she had great skills on every event, and she had a lot of potential, and she was actually winning medals in international competition.
Yes. So what's her tea? Oh no! I think Oscar, are you there?
Now I can't hear you. I'm gonna rejoin.
Okay. Do, do, do. Do, do, do.
Sorry
It's
about that.
her in his supermodel phase.
Stop. I still think about when I cut my hair short in November, and Nisha said Oscar went from looking 16 to 13 years old.
Wow.
Or at least that's how I understood what she said. Okay, so you heard me say the medals the Amalia won, right?
Yes, that's the last thing we heard.
Okay, so I found out about this interview that her latest coaches gave through this Instagram account called Romanian Period Gymnastics that you all should check out. I follow them and I enjoyed it. Their posts and often agree with their point of view. So they write
Yeah, I got to get
Romanian
better at
gymnastics.
following. I'm so sorry. I just said I personally got to get better at following podcasts who do gymnastics not from America. Because I realized I only follow. Because I realized it's this real popular Brazilian gymnastics podcast that I don't even follow. That is like real popular around the world, up there with gymnastics, maybe even more popular than gymnastics. That I just don't follow because it's Brazilian. But I need to get into them.
Yeah, me
You know what
too.
I'm talking about?
It's well, I was about to say I know about two great Brazilian podcasts, but the thing that prevents me from engaging more in their content is that they don't consistently, or at least to my understanding, maybe they do and I'm just not aware, provide translations to English. So I'd have to do that on my own, which is just more work for
Oh,
me to
maybe
do her
that's
anyway.
why.
The two that I know about from Brazil, one is the name is Roda de Ginástica Podcast, RODA. And then the other one I know is called something like Duplo Twist, which I'm assuming is Portuguese for double twist,
I think that's the one.
DUPLO.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, they both get great interviews from active gymnasts and past gymnasts that you definitely would have heard of. You, the audience.
Those
So
are too big, though. I know they are huge.
well, the Brazilians just go hard for anything, I feel like.
They interview a
I had
lot
a
of the
l-
Asian gymnasts.
Do they? That's cool. I saw that they interviewed Zoya Sakai, who
Okay,
is
then Roya is the one.
Hungarian.
Then Roya is the one that I'm thinking of, not the other one. Roya is the one that is really big because that's the one. That's the exact interview that I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of theirs, and they've actually been kind enough to reach out to my tiny Instagram account, which no one follows, and they had some kind words for me. So I'm sending love to their podcast and to them, and I would direct all of you towards their podcast because sometimes they do give English translations. Like this Zoya interview was actually conducted in English. So
They-
Zoya, just in case no one knows who that is or forgets, sorry, she's Hungarian. She ended up competing at the Paris Olympics, but
Mhm.
her road to Paris was really messy,
Yeah.
mostly because of the FIG. She was the gymnast you might recall from 2023 Worlds, who had qualified to the Olympics as an individual, but then the FIG messed it up. They totally messed it up to make it short and not perfectly, but it's a long, complicated story from my understanding, that I clearly don't even fully understand, even though I listened to the interview twice. But she was supposed to qualify, and then her teammate, they gave the spot to her teammate, and like it was an administrative error on the FIG basically, and they didn't do anything to really fix the situation. So that's that. Romanian Gymnastics says Christian Moldovan comments on his gymnast Amalia Pavlia's retirement on the day that the Federation of Romanian Gymnastics announced Pavlia's retirement. So notice Pavlia did not give a statement herself, as far as I understand. So Amalia Pavlia trained at the Centralized National Team Center at Deva, which is where all your faves used to train. Gina Gojian, Milo, right? They were in Deva.
Yes.
That's where the candle lighting ceremonies were.
Correct. It was their national training camp.
And it still might be to this day. I'm just not entirely sure.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong as well.
Okay, so Amalia Pavlia trained at the Centralized National Team Center at Deva from 2018 until September 2022. Pavlia left due to abuse allegations about Lucien Sandu. Due to a custody battle, Pavlia was unable to retrieve the signature from her legal guardian to switch from Club Gym Barlad to Club Gym Dynamo for 4 months. During these 4 months in which she was unable to switch, Pavlia did not train at her registered club gym Barlad and waited to get the signature for Dynamo. Pavlia began training at Dynamo in January 2023. She competed again in August 2023 and had ankle surgery in late October 2023. She recovered and then had back problems throughout 2024. Pavlia was offered and encouraged to join the highly successful and healthy Deva and Izvorani group with completely different coaches than her 2022 Deva coaches. Pavlia was offered to join the Dutch coaches Corina and Florin and gymnasts Amalia Gigorta and Anna Barbosu, both of who went to 2023 Worlds and 2024 Olympics. But Amalia refused. The gym world and Romania's federation and the Romanian media as well painted the Moldovans at Dynamo as the progressive, open-minded, modern gym that would save Pavlia after she left Deva. Yet here in 2025, this very coach is commenting on his gymnast's body weight and does not speak on creating her a diet and helping her navigate this on her own. Pavlia accused Deva and Sandu of fat shaming and weighing her, yet here there seems to be repeated patterns at her new coaches. This interview suggests there was poor communication between Moldovans and Pavlia towards the end. There is complete blame on the gymnast, no accountability from the coach in regards to injury prevention and proper recovery, as well as help with diet techniques. For such a quote unquote modern coach who was quote so different than end quote the 2022 Deva staff, is there really much of a difference at all? All the blame is on Pavlia and focusing on what she ate in this interview. Do you want to say something, or should I read the interview? It's not the whole interview. It's just a few quotes.
Is this something common with Romanian gymnastics? It's like every time anybody who has any kind of power over the gymnast, Catalina Panor, anybody, they immediately attack the girls. Like immediately. Like it is. Is it even shocking anymore? Because they all do it.
Yeah, not so shocking, but it's definitely systemic. It's all over. There's not a healthy coach, in my opinion.
And the bad part is that the Soviets were so successful for so long, and then the Soviets start sending out their coaches to the world. And their Soviet coaches really have run that Soviet mindset to gymnastics to the point that it's just part of culture now where, yeah, we're going to yell at y'all and y'all are just going to accept it and we're just going to hit y'all and throw shit at y'all and sexualize y'all and pretend that y'all aren't the children that y'all are. And it's just
And
something.
we see that in the US too.
We see that everywhere, and it's because, and especially when a program is so dominant, you best to believe, like, you think OU is going to be scandal free. Wait till OU's great scandals come because OU's been so dominant for this. It's bound to happen. Like every gymnastics program that's been dominant like that has been followed by some kind of scandal where there is sexual, physical, financial.
What was Georgia's scandal?
Why did they run Suzanne Yaklin out of there?
Hmm.
I don't remember, but I know it was something. It was definitely something.
I believe you. I believe it. I was just curious.
No, it was something because it was something like they ran Suzanne up out of there for some reason. Maybe some gymnast was starting to put some things on her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, y'all not gonna get my ass. And see you later, bye." And then it was supposed to go to Jay Clark, and it was like, Jay Clark, why don't you still be the assistant and let Courtney be the face of it? And Jay was like, the fuck you mean? It was like, yeah, you could run the
So
gym.
they passed over Jay Clark. Oh. Well, I'm not a fan or a hater of Jay Clark's. I'm neutral.
They did him, but I know there was something like with Alabama. Alabama's great scandal was, oh, y'all was racist over there at Alabama. Like, oh, okay. Y'all
And
was racist.
we don't think that started with Dana Duckworth, right?
No.
No. I feel like that's a common misconception, though.
I feel like Dana Duckworth came in and when people thought the culture was going to change, this is why I think Dana Duckworth got it so bad. I think they expected Dana to change the culture. And when Dana came in there and was like, oh, yeah, change, fuck that. Um, Everyone's like, wait, if we don't stop it now, it's never going to stop. So let's stop it with Dana. But I don't know because, their new head coach, Ashley Priest, aka Ashley Johnson. I mean, Ashley Johnson, aka Ashley Priest.
That's Ashley Priest from 2006 Worlds? Oh, I never put that together.
Uh,
Good for her. She has her own team. I'm joking. I'm sure she's messy as fuck.
yeah, because I don't know if I'm supposed to say this out loud, so I'm gonna shut up. All I know
Just
is
whisper it.
her and a very famous Auburn gymnast when she used to be a coach at Auburn, a very famous Auburn gymnast. That's not Sunisa Lee. So their next most famous gymnast
But that's their best gymnast.
and their best gymnast and the one who really brought Auburn gymnastics to the forefront. Um, her and Ashley, bad relationship. Ashley was not nice to that girl at all.
That's something to pay attention to. Should I keep going or should I get into the interview quotes?
Oh, we never went. Okay, yeah.
That was just Romanian Gymnastics, the Instagram page's caption.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So then they posted a few photos with, I can even share my screen if you want.
My internet's been acting up with that. Let's just not.
Okay, but it's not like a video, it's just a photo.
I know my internet's still, my computer. I don't know why. My internet is just not letting me be great tonight.
No problem. Is there a way to do that? When you're in Restream, is there a way to put something in the main chat?
Is it a photo?
I just wanted to put the link to the post. But I guess I'll have to go like I'm a viewer onto some other social media, I guess, which is fine.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat.
The private chat?
No, in the Oh wait. Okay.
There's no way for me to put it in the chat that I can see.
Oh yeah.
I can read the chat, but I can't add to it.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
That's okay.
I thought it was.
I'm also, while I'm here, I'm going to put the link to Pauline's post as well. So the first link is for Amalia Pavlia, and the second is Pauline Schaefer's post or statement. Okay, so it starts off. This is a quote: Christian Moldovan, who was Amalia's last head coach. Christian Moldovan on his gymnast Amalia Pavlia's retirement. Quote: She hasn't been able to control her weight, so the problem is self-control. Next, quote: Retirement was Amalia's decision. She wanted to retire. She said she needed a break. She didn't feel like she was in a good time shape to perform. So we had nothing to do and we respected what she said. We as coaches did not oppose it. She said she needed this break longer than 2 weeks we had for Christmas. I also discussed it with her parents, and that was the decision. I last spoke to Amalia in December before the holidays. She packed up all her things from Dynamo. She needs a period in which to put her thoughts in order, so I don't know exactly what she plans to do next. Then the interviewer goes, I also know she had a problem with her diet being almost always, and then they put a weight in over her ideal weight. Moldovan says, quote, Indeed, we were unable to solve this problem in any way. Maybe because of the weight, the injuries also happened. On her back, on her ankle. Maybe that's why she wanted a break, because she couldn't train with this weight anymore. Then the interviewer says, having in any sport, and especially in gymnastics, that weight, having that much extra weight, again, the specific weight, is a lot. The joints bear enormous pressure. Have investigations been done? Moldovan says, quote, That's right, yes, but unfortunately she hasn't been able to control her weight. I went to the INMS, the National Institute of Sports Medicine, and I had tests done and everything came out fine. So the problem is self-control, mental. She still can't, at this age of 18, keep her diet under control outside the gym, unfortunately. Interviewer says, from what I know from former great gymnasts and current Romanian coaches, Amalia Pavlova was the most talented athlete of her generation. Moldovan quote, yes, she is. That's why we tried. After she had a 5-month break, during which she left Deva and came to us to recover her. She has great potential, but we didn't succeed. And she wanted it. I can't blame her for anything she did in the gym. She worked. She did all the program that I gave her, but unfortunately, we couldn't solve her problem with food. Interviewer, probably psychological work needs to be done. Do you know if she goes to a therapist? Moldovan, quote, I think so too. We have also talked to both parents, but Amalia is at a stage where she doesn't know what she wants. The rest of us would like her to continue with gymnastics because it's a shame about her talent, but she needs to calm down. I wouldn't like to say whether she goes to a psychologist or not. Interviewer, of course, Amalia's mental health is the most important. Let me just take a second, digest that. From a sports point of view, as
Wow.
cynical as it may sound, the last months are very important. Moldovan says, yes, but you know what they say, quote, love, or this is all him. Love with force is impossible. We have nothing to do. We have to wait for it. A new Olympic cycle is coming. The girls will want to qualify for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and I'm sure Amalia would also like to be there. That's the end.
Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit because
Surprise, surprise.
surprise, surprise. Could this be, in all honesty, just a cultural thing that we in America don't understand? Because they
Anything is
all
possible.
because they all do it. So at some point, right?
But didn't the United States, everyone used to do all that?
But again, it was a part of the culture, and it was very um okay at the time. And
Right.
then now the culture has shifted in America where it's not okay. My question is it fair for us as Americans to expect Romania to have that exact same culture shift?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Fairness. But I do think that it's totally valid for people to feel how they feel and want better for both. But I hear what you're saying about respecting someone's culture and understanding it as part of that before you give your opinion. Or at least acknowledging that there might be a difference that you can't appreciate completely.
Because it's
And I want to
too
say that there were people in the United States who were criticizing all of those weight shaming, things that cause eating disorder, abuse, even when it was the culture and when it was okay. So it's not like just because the culture accepts it doesn't mean that there's no one who can think critically and see and call it out for what it is.
but what I'm saying is like how he's harping on her weight right now, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at it as he's calling her fat. And
Mm-hmm.
we're saying that she can't control her weight. But what if in a world, he's telling that God honest truth. He's just saying it in a stupid ass way that is what
Totally putting her private information on blast.
correct.
No
What
respect
if
for privacy.
what if, you know, they were like, you keep getting injured, right? And the reason why you keep getting injured is because whatever, you need to be a little bit and these are conversations that are disrespectful to us, but I'm sure these are normal conversations in the gym. If you want to do a triple twist, maybe you should lose 5 pounds so you can go a little bit higher, right? And it's Romanian gymnastics. They only have a certain skill set they can teach people
But
right.
why is that the only solution to being able to accomplish the hardest skill? What about let's get your legs stronger?
I'm about to get there. It's Romanian gymnastics. They're still stuck in the 80s. Like,
Yeah, I mean, all of this makes me
there's
think about Christy Heinrich and all the other athletes who have to totally had devastating consequences for them based off of similar comments from their coaches, maybe even more subtle, less explicit comments than these.
and I don't know if Romanian gymnastics, because I clearly know Chinese gymnastics don't get this yet, that you need to give the girls 2 to 3 cycles if their bodies can handle it before they start to get good. Like, it's not like it used to be where the 15-year-old is going to come out there and just eat the girls up because she's young and fresh and injury free. That's not gymnastics anymore. And they need to get older. They need to actually be bigger a little bit so they can do harder things.
What about Morgan Hurd?
What about Morgan Hurd?
I'm just saying she was the world champion her first year as a senior.
But look at Morgan Hurd's. Okay. You can always
I'm
push.
just poking holes.
You can always push them out as young and then ruin them so the rest of their career they could be hurt and broken and destroyed and barely walking.
But that's how it used to be, right?
That
No
is
one
how
really
it
had
used to be.
longevity. So
And
it's
that is
like,
how Romanian gymnastics is still trying to. They don't have longevity in their gymnasts. Their gymnasts don't last.
Simone is the first and only of her kind, as far as we know, to achieve success as a first year senior and have longevity and success.
Even somebody like Horkina who had longevity, it took her a couple of years before she got. It took her after the 96 cycle before Horkina that we know became. In the 96 cycle when she was just like the third best gymnast on the Russian team.
How many gold medals did Corkina win at her third Olympics? How many gold medals did Simone win at her third Olympics? How many gold medals did Rebbie win at her third Olympics?
Fair, but I'm just saying.
Well, when I read this, I thought it was disgusting and scandalous, and that Amalia deserves better adults and coaches in her life. And I hope she finds happiness in a safe environment, regardless if she continues to train gymnastics or not.
Do you think in order for any Romanian gymnast to get to even the level of GB or anywhere, Romanian gymnastics is going to have to completely and totally do a 180, 360 change in their program completely, like fire almost everybody and start completely over? Because it's too prevalent within Romania. It's like they can't even hire old gymnasts because the old gymnasts who are successful, Catalina Pilar, now believes this process, this thought wave. Gina Gochian.
Oh my gosh, that hurt, stumping her up. I don't know. I don't feel like I know. I don't follow Romanian gymnastics that close. I hear way more bad than good things. I see that they had obvious improvement in the last quad compared to the previous two.
This is how
Um,
broken Romanian gymnastics is, you guys. We all be like, what happened to Romanian gymnastics? Why have they fallen off? This is the tea. All of their best gymnasts quit because they be like, yeah, I just want to be a regular person. I don't fuck this, fuck these gold medals, fuck this. Like, I'm just gonna go to school and be a regular person and live life. Like, they always do that. Like, didn't Sabrina almost retire at one point in time?
I didn't know about that, but I knew Anna Barbosa was about to retire.
Oh, it was Anna who was about to retire. Like,
And remember, Catalina said to, she
yes,
said to Anna Barbosa, she said, "Is your belt supposed to be tucked or laid out?" Anna said, "Laid out." She said, "Then lay it out." In front of all the media.
and it's just like, and then not only said that, but then went on a media tour defending those comments and trashing Anna Barbosa's gymnastics while doing it.
Yeah, Catalina is definitely a hater, definitely not a girl's girl. She can't be trusted, but that's what you get when you are that talented. You can't have it all.
And it's just like, but even like Catalina would be somebody I would be like, definitely Catalina should be the head coach of Romania, but no, she shouldn't.
No, she. You mean like someone who didn't know all this would think?
Yes.
That?
You'd be
Yeah, or Gina Gogian, Simona Amanar.
You'd be like, yes, of course. Like, why aren't they the head coaches of Romanian gymnastics? And you read the stuff that they say and do, and you'd be like, oh.
Let's not forget the legendary gymnasts who spoke out against Octavian Bellew way back when in like the 90s, like
Andrea Marinescu
and Milosevic. Milosevic did a soft porn gymnastics video, and she was wearing her national.
Wait, what?
She was wearing her.
Wait, I feel like I know this information.
Her leotard that was given to her by the federation, and they were like,
her Olympic leotard.
They called her the whore of Babylon. Mary Magdalene. Throwing tomatoes. Don't come back to Romania.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
I feel like I heard this story before, but I feel like the story I heard was she did a rated R movie, and there was a sex scene in the rated R movie, and she did it in her Olympic leotard or something like that. That it was a porn?
No. Well, okay, here's what I understand to be. I was being a little messy. She did gymnastics. I'm looking to confirm it, but I think I remember it was that she did gymnastics. Okay, here we go. This is her Wikipedia page.
I'm kind of gagged right now.
It says in 2002, Milosevic, along with former teammates Corina Ungureanu and Claudia Presecan, you know Claudia, you stand Claudia, sparked controversy.
She was on the 2000 Olympic teams.
She wasn't in 96? She was supposed to be on 96?
She was hurt. She was one. It was like 3 Romanian girls who were supposed to be on that team, and they all was hurt, so that's why they only competed 6 girls.
Okay, in 2002, Milosevic, along with former teammates Corina Ungureanu and Claudia Presecan, sparked controversy by posing naked in photographs for a Japanese photo book titled LCC Gold, and performing gymnastics routines topless for the Japanese DVDs Goldbird and Euro Angels. A number of photographs from the photo book and DVDs were subsequently published in the Japanese magazine Shukan Gendai, and an edited version of the DVDs entitled 3 Gold Girls was released in Germany in 2004. Because the gymnasts had posed for some of the photographs and footage wearing their official Romanian national team leotards, the Romanian Gymnastics Federation banned them from coaching and judging in the country for 5 years. And the Japanese Junior Gymnastics Club Federation contemplated banning Romanian gymnasts from a major international junior competition. Yeah.
But see, I don't think that's fair because Horkina was in Playboy and nobody cared about that.
Let's just like look at it for individually, like objectively. It's unfair. They were being
But wait, okay. So, question. Did they know what they were doing? Did they think they were just doing a photo shoot and the photographer ended up editing this video out to be like porn? Like, because it sounds like
it was not. I
they
said
were-
soft porn. What the first thing I said was soft porn, to be clear.
okay. When I say porn, it's just from my understanding from what you read, they were just doing gymnastics topless. So they just had their boobs out.
And they posed completely naked for photographs.
Oh, well, see, that is porn then. Okay. So yeah.
I don't see the difference between. Think they're both porn.
Okay.
Given
yeah,
the climate we live in, the world we live
yeah, okay.
in.
Now I'm never gonna look for these pictures. So there okay,
Just
so
the
there's
videos.
porn and then there's
I'm joking.
so there's porn and then there's nude art. And there's a completely total separate distinction between.
But you were just bringing up how it's different in different cultures. What's the culture in Romania on this? Do they feel the same?
Clearly they don't. But my
Also,
question
Japan,
is,
not Japan contemplating penalizing the whole Romanian Federation.
but my question was go back to my question because I'm gagged. Like, you've been gagging me all night with these gym dudes. Like, my gosh. Whew. Glad we talked about NCAA first because baby. Was it like tasteful news or was they like busting it wide open? Like, it's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the photos or the videos.
But do y'all understand? Do you understand what I mean? Like, if they was like,
I understand what you mean, but like, I'm not that interested as you sound. You sound very interested.
I'm not. I don't ever. I've told you, I'm never looking for these photos. I'm just questions. Like, it's a difference between like I can see the three of them together, like hugged up. Maybe you could see their breasts, but nothing else was exposed, and they were nudes. Where it was like they thought they were doing maybe like a artful type, artsy type of photograph, like a Sports Illustrated nude thing, like.
But what does intention have to do with anything?
Because this was 2002, right? So they could have thought they were doing like how they do the Sports Illustrated nude body thing. Allie Raceman was in that, right? And that wasn't
buy that. I don't buy that.
Let me finish
those girls. That was a culture of fear. They were so afraid of Octavian Bellew. And he did not hold back in the gym, from what I understand.
They all were retired athletes at that point in time, so maybe they were just chasing a bag. And maybe
I just don't buy that they didn't understand how what they were doing would be perceived.
Because this is why, again, this is if anybody ever seen this, please let us know in the comments, because there's a big difference between, in my mind, what I'm thinking of as an artsy, like, new photo shoot, but in a very artsy way, and then maybe the photographers took the behind the scene footage as well, and that's what they released, and that's what is being perceived as the softcore porn. But in the gymnast minds, they were doing something else what they got paid for was not what actually got released. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at
You know
the
how, like, okay,
the places they were published, and that one of them is a general interest weekly magazine published by Kodansha in Tokyo. So it doesn't sound like it's a porn magazine, but
correct.
that's not the first thing. That was just one of several. I don't know about. It says sparked controversy by posing naked in photographs for a Japanese photo book, LCC Gold, and performing gymnastics routines topless for the Japanese DVDs Goldbird and Euro Angels. I don't know about any of those three things. A
I don't know about.
number of photographs from the photo book and DVDs were subsequently they were republished
You
in the
see what I'm saying?
Japanese magazine that I was talking about.
It's kind of, it reminds me, because the only reason it reminds me of this whole Vanessa Williams thing, how she lost her Miss America crown, right? She did a photo shoot topless, right? And in her mind, it was like an artsy type of modeling photo shoot. Those were the pictures that they told her that she took. What they did was they took all the behind the scenes stuff and
I don't
published
buy
that.
that. Oh, really?
And that's where she lost her Miss America crown.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe this was the same situation where they thought they were doing like a Sports Illustrated nude issue. Nothing would actually be published, where they were actually nude. They
bought and published Williams' unauthorized news photographs. But why were you taking nude photographs? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Again, she was young. They were dumb. Like, again,
Of
you gotta
course, I've done such worse things than that.
they could be like, oh, let me just take this picture. Nobody will ever see it, but you look real hot right now. Let me take this picture. They're like, okay, sure. Thinking nobody would ever see it. And maybe it's
Who knows? Maybe her boyfriend was the photographer.
And maybe it's the same thing with Milo and them. Maybe they took pictures thinking nobody would ever see them. And then the people who owned the pictures published all the pictures behind their backs, out of their control.
I wish I knew.
Again, that's why I'm saying it's a difference if they were like just on the camera busting it wide open, then that absolutely, throw my theory into the trash. And then, they were doing what they were doing.
From my understanding, not from reading that article, but from my memory of people telling me about this, they stressed that Bellew said it was like unforgivable, the worst offense, worse than them posing semi-nude or nude, that they had included the Romanian national identity in their leotards. Because they were tarnishing that image of nationalism.
And maybe that was the worst offense than anything else they actually did.
That's what I understand. It doesn't mean it's accurate.
So, yeah, you guys, we gave y'all an interesting show with lots of thoughts and opinions. I think that was a great way to end it off. Yeah, I'm completely gagged by this story, though.
Can I just bring up one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have anything to say about it, but I just want to acknowledge, and maybe you do. I thought it was noteworthy that Cameron Nelson, a collegiate gymnast, was the first gymnast to compete a triple pike and a triple tuck in one floor routine.
In college?
Yeah, you didn't hear about it or see it? Oh, I reposted it. Let me see what team he's on. You should watch
I
it.
think he goes to Stanford.
He is
wait, don't tell me. Is he at Stanford?
No, I knew he wasn't at Stanford.
Oklahoma?
No.
Michigan?
No.
Iowa?
Close.
Ohio?
Which one?
State?
No. Yes. As Shayna would say, I'm not saying the university. When I say Ohio, that's what I mean.
I'm surprised I know that many men's college gymnastics teams.
Yeah, you got it. So yeah, he did a. You missed. You were looking down, but he did a triple pike and a triple tuck.
What did
And
he
he
score,
also
like
did
a
like a.
17?
I didn't see the score, but his other passes were like a 2.5 front layout, a front layout full into a tucked double front, and he dismounts with a double double, and he had like a rebound on that, but he stayed on his feet. Watch it. Go look at my Twitter when you're done here.
One thing about men's NCAA gymnastics that I do like, from the one thing that I paid attention to this weekend, was they give them really high scores. If you want to see big scores, if like you like big numbers, if that's your thing, watch men's NCAA gymnastics. They give them really big scores.
What's your favorite men's team right now? I have a new favorite. Hi, Shayna.
It's the same team I've always liked, the Chinese.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
The Chinese.
The Chinese don't have a team in NCAA.
Oh. You was talking about NCAA gymnastics?
Yes. Sorry, was that not clear? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, or if you're actually confused.
You're very sarcastic. I don't.
Who are the, what is the Chinese team? What am I? The team with the most Asians? What are you insinuating?
I'm insinuating I have no idea who any men's college gymnastics team is. So the Chinese.
Oh, you're just dissing the men's NCAA. Okay, my bad. Well, I didn't even know about this team really until recently. I really enjoy, for several reasons, which I won't get into right now, the Washington men's program.
You think they're attractive?
Maybe a few of them, but also they have a lot of queers. They have a lot of queers, from what I can tell.
Okay, I got a question for anybody who knows about men's gymnastics, right? It seems to be like in the women have separate divisions. There are separate divisions in men's, but there seems to be something in men's that is different, where it's this specialized league or division full of gay and queer athletes where they compete under what seems like a different code of points, where the men do stuff like take lunges out of tumbling passes and do leap combinations and stuff. Like, what is that about? Like, Jackson competes over there.
I thought Jackson graduated.
Well, he probably did. Well, he used to compete over there in that league, and they had their own separate. It's not in the NCAA. It's their own separate thing, because their national championships was in Daytona, and I was thinking about going, but I didn't have the funds. But what is that? It just
couldn't tell you, but I know what you're talking about. But I do think that Jackson was on. They were on the one of the Arizona teams.
But it just seems to be a different.
I've had it explained to me so many times. I'm just like not interested in watching. That's why I don't remember. It's like, it's just a lower level. It's like, is it non-professional?
I don't. It seems real interesting. Well, it seems real interesting.
Oh, because they're doing the lunges and the leap passes on the men's side?
Yes.
Okay, that isn't a reason to learn more and watch more. I didn't know that.
it makes men's gymnastics. It gives me enough of what I like about women's gymnastics and men's gymnastics to make it like, oh, yes, queen. It's
I've
almost like
seen
watching.
some really fruity, entertaining exercises this year.
Yes,
Maybe that's where they're from.
yes, that's exactly where it's from. It's like, oh, yes, girl, yes, yes, girl, yes.
And there used to be another queer team in the actual NCAA or whatever. No offense to the other league. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm not shading anyone or dissing anyone intentionally. Where they had, oh my God, what's his name? Jude something and Charlie Larson, who was a tumbler, who now is doing crazy. He does like the double layout, and he did the Yurchenko double pike last season, and he has a great Ominar. I love him. And I know that all his straight teammates can't stand that he's like more talented than them. He's on Paul Juda's team now because I think they were at Minnesota or something like that, and their program got defunded. It's done. So they all had to split up, these three gays. It's sad. And go to different teams. But Charlie is now outshining Paul Judah at his own school, and I live.
Has Fred competed at Michigan this year? Does Fred even still does NCAA gymnastics? Has he graduated?
I saw his name. I think he's definitely still there, and I think he might have even competed.
Is he hurt?
I don't know. Johnny, we already talked about that. Yes, they were together, and they had a nice embrace on camera.
Oh, Shayna, if you're still here, I just want to tell you what me, Oscar, and Ezra came up with our NCAA rankings, and just put yes or no if you agree. Then we can end the show. If you're still here. So if you're still here, type hi or put a dot or something so I can know you're still here.
If you're still here, right, Gina Gojian was better than Rokina.
Girl, you know that's a Horkina stand over there. That girl loved Horkina and LSU.
That's what Shayna's going to write when she's being held hostage. She's
Okay.
here.
So we went number 9 is Arkansas. Number 9 was Arkansas. Number 8 was Georgia. Number 7 was Auburn. Number 6 was Kentucky. Number 5 was Missouri. Number 4 was Alabama. Number 3 was Florida. Number 2 was LSU. And number 1 was OU. Let us know if you agree. I'm pretty sure you're going to be like Shayna, who's going to hate on Florida and want to put Bama in number 3. But we've already said it ain't going to happen over here. Florida, and until Bama kick Florida ass, Florida's still a better team.
Do you think that Shayna's going to put LSU or OU at number 1?
I think she's going to put OU at number 1. She might disagree with.
Oh. I completely agree, Shayna. We were very results oriented this week, I found, in our conversation at least. She thinks our ranking is very influenced by the results that were this week, which is true. We looked at the results from this week more than the ones from last week or averages. Or other things. Shayna's always like has different criteria in her mind that it's not even on my radar. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, but they won the conference or the regionals 3 years ago.
Hey,
I love it.
Brody. Long time no see, friend. I enjoyed Jordan's floor routine too.
Me too. We didn't talk about UCLA much with Urza. Like I said at the very beginning of the show, or maybe it was even before we got on, I think that UCLA deserved at least 110 on floor.
From who?
I don't see why Shay didn't go 10. Was it her last tumble?
I think it's his. I think it's her opening tumbling pass. It just looks a little sloppy. Her tuck full in the air. To me,
But a whole 10th? They gave her a 9.9 and she stuck it cold.
Shayna puts Georgia at last in last too. Hold on. Let me look.
Auburn in 4th place. Auburn ahead of Bama.
She goes.
I haven't seen
Georgia,
Auburn.
Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Bama, Auburn. Wow, Florida. Oh, you gosh, Shayna.
I'm also surprised she put Missouri below Auburn and Kentucky.
I am too.
I
I
believed
agree
you
with this
guys.
Georgia Arkansas thing, but I've been overruled. So,
I might be outvoted. It seems like all 3 of you want Georgia last, but I'll just have to wait and see what gets published on the Loves Gymnastics Twitter page. I just hope it's not something I can't condone or approve or support.
yeah, I'm gonna have to make a decision, huh? Ooh. We put Auburn in 7th, and she have Auburn waiting damn 4th.
I want to know the reason. I know there's a good reason. We'll just have to wait for Thursday.
Yeah. I think Arkansas is better than Georgia too. I do too.
Everyone
But-
thought that except for me.
Except for Oscar and somebody else. I think Nisha
Mine-
was on your side.
Oh, that's right. That's why I felt entitled to be feel strongly.
And Shayna said Bama locked up their first meet. Wow.
I could see that. I want to know if Shayna saw Georgia. They were, and I loved every moment of it. It's still going on. Did you see that, Michaela?
No, I guess I haven't been on Twitter at all today. What the fuck was I doing? I was asleep. Most of the day. So
I started a fight. I knew what I was doing.
oh, when you was like about the landing, Aki say Simone, when you could hear her landing or something like that.
No, it was the video of Simone doing her Biles 1 vault, which is the chung with a half turn, and I said, "Oh my gosh, the sound of the landing," because it's like a slam. Some people will say it was the floor music. Some people will will deny that and claim it was Simone's powerful and beautiful landing. And I said Reby could never with a heart.
Yeah, you started the war on purpose.
And they're saying really nasty stuff about Simone that I'm not even gonna repeat here. But
oh yeah, them Brazilians, they
were
play.
saying like, let's make this viral on Brazilian Twitter. Like she would deactivate her account in 5 seconds in one day. And the thing that I actually like, it's not mature and it's not good that I do this, but it makes me laugh when the Brazilians drag when other Brazilians come on those Brazilian poses to drag the Brazilian gymnasts. I'm like, in Portuguese, they're dragging Flavia.
Man, the Brazilian. I guess that's why that Brazilian gymnastics podcast is so popular, because the Brazilian gymnastics fans are nuts. They're just nuts.
There were
Like
so many of them, and all of them had less than 100 followers, did not have their faces in their profiles.
they are nuts. Like y'all think American gym fans are crazy? Don't let Brazil start to dominate, man. It would be bad. The gym internet would be bad. Don't let Brazil have another great gymnast like Rebecca or Flavia. It would be bad. It would be bad. I mean, it would be great for Brazil. It would be very entertaining. But then
Yeah, I
Brazil,
hope they have tons and tons of superstars.
yes, me too. I actually hope Brazil becomes number two to America, challenging America, eventually knocking on America's door one day.
I would love that for any team. No, that's not true. For most teams. Did you see how Brody feels about that Biles vault? I can't believe that. I could not believe that.
Oh wow!
I thought you were Simone Stan, Brody. What's going on?
I don't think Rebecca could do it because Rebecca doesn't. The way, in my opinion, the reason why Simone could do it is because she also get height and distance. Where Rebecca is more, she gets a lot of height, but it's more up and down. Where
Also, Rebecca. I mean, it fluctuates. Sometimes it's less pronounced than others, but she, in general, pikes down her vault way more than Simone. I definitely think Rebecca could fit the twists in. I just think she would land on her feet and then immediately fall onto her butt. I don't think she could rotate it.
agreed, agreed. Um,
That was a great show. I feel like we should end it.
oh yeah, I was ready to do that. Well, you guys, we've come to the end of the show.
I
We
could
gave
sense
you
it.
4 hour show by mistake. Um, but it was entertaining. Now I have to get up and get ready to kick a bunch of people out the hotel tomorrow. Um, I love you all. We will be back Thursday. Yeah, we'll be back Thursday. But Thursday show, I'm gonna need everybody to get ready a little bit early because I gotta go to work Thursday night actually. So if we could do the show, start the show about 8 and do it
Is
from about.
Thursday this week better than Friday for you? Well, there's
Friday, I'm
gymnastics
off.
on Friday.
That's why we don't do the show on Fridays anymore or Saturdays. That's why we're
I
limited.
forgot.
Yes. Um. So we could do it Thursday. It just won't be a very. I mean, no, it could be like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour, maybe 3 hour show. But I just got to go to work Thursday night. So. Plus, this week is, oh my God, we have to do a show Thursday because there's so many good meets coming up this week, you guys. This is going to be another Florida versus
Yeah.
LSU. The shit talking show begins. The shit talking show begins.
That's
It's
definitely what we
another.
should do. We should preview the meets on Thursday.
Oh, it was another big one. It was like OU versus somebody.
I could look, but let's save something to talk about on Thursday.
Absolutely. With that being said, you guys, I'm going to take my ass to bed because I got to wake up in 5 hours. I love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Let me try to upload this to Twitter real quick. Bye.